Ah, that's what it is. It's just a Vader. Hello, guys. How are you? Welcome along. Welcome along to oh, uh, a Mandela Effect special. This time we're actually going to show the residue. Hello, welcome along. We are live all across the social media things: Facebook, YouTube, other places. Let me just wait for this. Start playing. So what I'm going to do is we have Skook on tonight. We have Mandela Effect special. We're going to talk about how you can keep your Mandela Effect residue. I have so much folders of it, so many bits and pieces of folders of it. But you know, it's good to have a sort of a foil for them. A foil for them. So we're just going to wait for Skook. There, she should be here in a second. I started this show this way because it's easier for me to drop the link for to join the show into this than actually copy it, send it through my phone, and that way, because I don't actually have Facebook open at the moment. Oh, I could do it that way. Oh shit, I could do it. It's just because I'm always slows down my Facebook. But what I'll do is I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you this way actually. Let's do it that way, and then I'll just close Facebook. I'll send you the link now, Skook, into your messenger on Facebook. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. Alan's here. Where are you, Alan? Hello, happy Friday. Alan's there. There we go. Give it a link. 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 Here we go. Now, link there. Should be good. Now, make sure that so I have that on. That makes noise. So, link. I've sent you the link, sweetheart. So, now, what I also wanted to do really quick was just share it on Facebook. The good thing about tonight is we have loads and loads of new residue. We have loads and loads of new residue. That sounds really weird. We've loads and loads of new residue. I want to share this one. That one. These are my own groups, so I'm going to put them in as a watch party in my own groups. I don't usually watch them that much in my own groups because it's the Facebook thing. It's the Facebook thing. I don't get. Do you know what I don't get? I don't get too many notifications. Oh, sorry, I do. I get too many notifications, should I say? And then when I come onto my phone or when I'm trying to write back, the notifications just keep updating, and I miss loads of notifications. Share some more there. Now, okay, up in there. Pop over to YouTube. There you go. Oh, I hear someone. I think we're ready to go. Haha. Now, hopefully the sound and all is okay. Hello.
Hi, I'm in my jammies.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. No problem. What time is it there?
It's 1, but I had a sleep study last night and I didn't sleep a wink.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
they tested me. I have sleep apnea. I have very severe sleep apnea.
Oh God. Okay.
And they tried to think I could sleep without the machine. I'm going, good luck.
Wow. So you have to have the machine on all the time, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow. Okay. And how long is that? How long have you had to use that for?
Since 2005, but I was actually born, I think, with a condition that small airway, and had it all my life. I used to snore like a trucker when I was 5. So there you go.
I haven't heard that one before. I have heard swear like a trucker, but not like a trucker. That's going on. I've heard that one before. Anyway, I want to say Happy New Year and Happy Christmas and all that kind of stuff because we haven't seen each other since before Christmas.
I know. It's been a while.
It's been a while. How was your festivities?
Pretty low key. No gift giving except my daughter gave me some soap. I'm not sure if she's trying to tell me something. we had have a little tree, and we had a little get together, family, and just a few people, and got to
Okay.
meet my daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd that go?
Oh, he's lovely, and we had a wonderful time. We played some games and had some good laughs, and nice young man.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, can't complain.
That's good. That's good.
She's had less than nice boyfriends, and this is this
Okay.
is
No, I
good.
get you. I get you.
Definitely.
Sorry, a friend of mine just texted me there. Sorry to hear the text. Just telling me to pop off. She wants to borrow some sugar. Not weird. Someone does want to borrow some sugar. I thought that was just a myth, something that someone would say. It's one of my neighbors.
I'm eating my
have you any sugar? Okay.
I'm eating my breakfast, which is
Oh,
chow mein
nice.
with scrambled eggs.
Oh, lovely, lovely, very nice, very nice. Breakfast.
By the
at
way,
1,
that tastes really good to do that.
1 p.m. Breakfast at 1 p.m. That's all right. It's all right. It is p.m., isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
you're ahead of me because
God bless.
some explorer decided that England was the center of time.
Well, you know what? It's probably some English person, obviously, the arrogance of the English. This is where time starts. This is where Greenwich is. This is the timeline. This is where we're going to start it all.
I will not argue that the British can be arrogant, at least in those days.
As an Irishman, I can say they're very yeah, very.
Well, my genealogy, my first thing is Scottish, then Irish, and then English. So
Yeah, the Scottish and Irish should be fine. You'll be fine. Celtic's is very English. So tonight you were saying that you wanted to talk to people about the residue and how to keep it, or where to keep it, or where to boil it, or what kind of explanation was that you were going to do.
Well, in the group where Scott Harrison was and everything, we discussed a lot.
Okay.
About what can you do to sort of have your own personal little scrapbook or whatever of your personal things. For some reason, digital things are a little bit iffy. They come and go.
Mm-hmm.
You can save something and all of a sudden it'll change because the timelines will change.
Yes.
But if you draw something from memory, not looking at a picture, purely from memory, it usually endures.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't change.
Yeah.
And if you like write little notes as well. So I have this scrapbook, and I have some books here of sources you can use. Everyone has to find their own
1 second. Just
Mandela effects that makes meaning to them.
Carry on, I can still hear you.
No worries, I'm going to take a bite.
Sorry, sweetheart, I was listening. Colin's just arrived there in the chat there as well. Hi, Colin. Colin, the Apple Man. How are you, sir? It's good to have you here.
The Apple Man.
The Apple Man, Colin, yeah. Colin double. I'm not even going to read that. Oh, me and him have some great chats. So you were saying there about you have some in-depth talks in the group about where to.
Well, I do have some maybe ideas that we learned with our other group, and since they don't get together anymore, and so I can't claim these ideas are mine solely, but I thought I'd share them, and maybe you can find some. I mean, after all, when you look at this residual stuff, it is really so you can comfort yourself for the journey we're taking. How it's you feel a little groundless sometimes when things change, and here you are, you're kind of stuck with your pants off.
Have you ever had stuff change in your house?
Yes.
So
yes.
To prevent that from happening, there are steps you can take, definitely. I know that.
I don't know if we can prevent things. I think though that we can certainly become more aware as when a shift comes, because sometimes when we have a shift happens, you know, like shit happens when we
Yeah, shit
shift.
happens. Shit happens. Well, this is my foundation of being able to protect it. I used to do it ages ago. I used to do some weird shit to protect my residue because I had loads of books and everything. My 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 foundation of that was kind of. Uh, oh, sorry, it's gone. It'll come back to me in a second. I'm sorry, it's gone. It's one of them conveyor belts. I think it was to do with that. I used to do sort of a spell on it in a way, where because everything is changing under a spell, under magic, under paranormal, or under whatever we can understand it. So my own level of knowing a little bit about what goes on in other realms and bits and pieces of my own knowledge and whatever, wherever it comes from, whatever. I do my own kind of little rituals in a way, which is kind of a spell on.
I do.
On
I do too. I
yeah,
have.
so you learn how to do these things. I sometimes I find myself doing them in a mental health state where I just don't know what I'm doing. I just forgot. I just forgot what I find myself coming to in a way where I'm actually walking around in a pattern and I'm doing it around something or something like that, protecting myself, doing a protection spell on it in a way. Sorry, go ahead.
I think if there's anything we've learned with this timeline stuff and shifting stuff, is there's a lot more to the unseen world than we're aware of.
Oh yes.
And I have fairies, by the way. I mean,
nice.
Did not expect that.
Didn't expect to have fairies.
No, not in California.
Well,
maybe they're tied to my family line and not,
okay.
They
could be.
Place. You know what I mean?
They could be.
But I mean, I have a meditation I do. I have visualizations I do. I have affirmations I do. Yes, that's me, Rao.
Hi, Rao.
I have, I mean, if you want to call them prayers, you can. A prayer is simply a focused thought and request to the divine, whatever that divine might be.
I suppose, right? Yes, in a way, yeah.
And I find this helps keep me grounded. I also have, I don't have it on right now. I have obsidian and other things I wear that help. And whether or not they actually do anything, if you believe they do something,
that's the key.
The power is in us. I think you have to realize that.
Yeah.
The power, we have that divinity within us, that power to create our reality. Now, we're not very good at it sometimes.
I heard a great quote someone said years ago. If the truth is to be told so as to be understood, it will be believed. We just don't understand half stuff that we're told anyway. And because it's all a mystery, we don't understand it 100%. And to know something, really know something, you need to do that art of war type of thing, knowing it 100% inside out. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Drinking my coffee. Too much coffee today. Too much coffee, and it is 9 p.m.
I have my Yorkshire tea, but it's too hot right this second.
Oh, okay. Is it Tetley's tea?
Yorkshire. It's
Yorkshire. Yeah. So.
The red and green
packet. Yeah.
box.
Mm-hmm.
I get it from England.
Nice.
I think I had that cup change, and I had a difficult time explaining to people what had happened. And this is something that happened in my real world. This happened within minutes, and it's like, that's a little startling.
Yes.
Looking at logos and stuff, that's kind of a safe thing. You don't feel too threatened by that or intimidated by it.
I had a conversation just before the show about stuff changing in the house. I don't know. I bought a Ford logo. I bought a key ring of a Ford logo. And the reason why I bought it is because it was Residue. That's the only reason I bought it. I bought 2 key rings and I had an argument online. I remember specifically had an argument with someone online saying, oh, no, it's a factory knockoff. That's why it's not got the pig's tail on it, And I'm like, no, it's obviously, it's a Ford logo. It's put on by the Ford factory because they sell their cars in that factory. It wasn't, a run of the mill, someone didn't get it right. I went and looked at the thing months later. It had the pigtail on it. Both of them had the pigtail on it. So, the pigtail arrived on my keyring. And I would have thought to myself, yeah, okay, maybe I didn't magnify so much into it, but I had done. And the argument that I had with someone online about the specific, that specific, I cemented it in my memory of that actually happened. And then it kind of freaked me out in a way that Okay, that's changed. I've noticed that. What haven't I noticed that changed in my own house? You know, what haven't I seen that has changed in my own reality? Is it a case of because I haven't went and looked since the last time with these eyes that it has actually changed? So I don't know. My concept of what it is now and what it was then is, yeah, it's you have the dual memory on a lot of stuff, but that one there, it's cemented. It's changed in my house 100%. That's a bit
Well,
freaky.
it's just like that. I don't know if you can share up that picture from that show, that Korean show.
The one that you
The
sent
map
me?
is one. The map of the UK is one way. A few scenes later, it's changed, and I don't think they changed the. It's like 20 minutes later, they go back to that scene, and it's
Yes,
a different flag. It's
different
it's
flag. Yeah.
definitely the more modern flag, although you said it was upside down.
Yeah, I
You would
think.
know.
Well, it's you know what the two. There's excuse me. Some of them are upside down, depending on. I had a quick look at that, and the idea of that they used to do it upside down to warn sailors. You know, if they were being invaded. So say they were coming back to shore, and they saw a flag that was upside down that no one else kind of noticed really in a way. Yeah, that was because I had an argument about that being residue before with someone. And I'm like, no, that's residue. You know, it's an upside down flag. That's what it makes. But I didn't fully understand it myself. I'm trying to find that pic. My computer's so slow. My computer's so slow. Oh yes,
I'm
I
on
got
my
it.
laptop. Don't feel bad, and it's an
Yes,
old
it's
one.
my laptop as well. It's my laptop. I'll have these. I'll share
It's
this.
an old one.
We just take the chat off there for a second, and we can do the full screen of the share screen. Appreciate you being here, Ral. Great to have you here, man. I haven't seen you for a long time. So you know Ral as well from around.
Forgive me for munching.
No, you do your thing. We're going to be down the very bottom of the screen now, anyway. So you know, don't worry about it. It's all good.
You can blur me out if you want.
You know what? Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. I'll do it this way so we can. Excuse me. So we can go back and forward. So there we go. That's the first picture you saw in the first part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And as we can see, that's symmetrical. Means center. The lines on the outside coming down at an angle are symmetrical within the white lines. Now the British flag now in these days don't have them red lines symmetrical. They're either up at the bottom. Well, actually, as we face the flag now, the one to the left top should be on the bottom, and then the bottom one on the opposite should be on the top, and the other way around on the other one.
Kind of like
That's
a
the way they
pinwheel.
fly it. Say it again.
Kind of like a pinwheel. How
kind of in a way,
all
yes.
the same direction.
Yeah, in a way, and then they fly it the opposite way then for to warn people. But this is the next photograph he took. This is there you go. That's I think that's the original way to do it. So upside down, you'll notice that it'll be the other way around. Or I think it's flip. Whatever, upside down, yes. So imagine it upside down. That's the same one. That's the same photograph.
It's supposed to be two different views of the same.
Oh, there's the angle on it, maybe.
It's just the angle's different.
No, I don't think so. But it looks.
It's like a different setup altogether, doesn't it?
It does, but it is. It's from a further angle. That's the whole.
It's in the same place in her apartment. It's right next to where she goes to her apartment. So I don't know if they changed it or if it just changed. Or I mean,
that looks like
I just found it odd.
That looks like a change. That looks like a. Oh, by the way, here, quick, we may move that flag for the next scene, but let's not edit that scene out because you were a great actress in that one. We don't want to cut it out. We'll just change the flag and see if you notice. Some people say that
like
they're
a
taking
newer flag. You know, it looks newer or something.
Yes, it does look a hell of a lot newer than the other one.
I mean, continuity in shows, they try really hard not to do that.
Yeah. There you go. You can see that is definitely symmetrical on that one, you know. And when you look at that one, there's a shadow there on that one, right? So look at the shadow there on that picture. So
and the other one looks like it's actually flush against the wall.
Yeah, the other one looks like it's flush against the wall. So I think it's definitely a scene change. That's like flat up against that wall, isn't it?
Could be the other one got damaged. It rains
maybe.
a great deal. Rains a great deal in Korea, so Maybe it got damaged.
Also, just look at the photographs above that, right? Photographs above that are nearly symmetrical, and they're nearly directly on the angle of it. When you look at this one here, when you zoom in, the photographs above it are not. The corner goes past this corner, so that definitely is a different Union Jack. See the photographs on the top corner here. So up here, see these photographs on the top that are hanging on the wall, and the pictures hanging on the wall. That's what I mean. So not photographs. So they are in a different position, than they are in this one.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm just thinking, I mean, they had to have two different flags, and the other one doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, the reason, the other one exists in what I find artist renditions, like Family Guy, any of the stuff you'll see it all over and Simpsons and stuff like that. But even when you go to a fair or anything like that, you'll see people who have been drawn Union Jack for years will do it symmetrical, and I have been doing it for a long time. You can go around any souvenir shop in London will have symmetrical lines, which I think to myself, it's easier to use it if you're using it on a mass scale. It's a printer to just have it symmetrical, and sometimes the print goes out off slightly, and if it is meant to be the other way around, it can look like symmetrical. So I wouldn't use it as art, but finding a physical actual flag that has that, like a normal Union Jack. I think the photographs that are online of them can be doctored and are doctored. But the main reason is for this one is, why did they change the flag? Was there a scene where that actually original flag was broken and they just changed? Or
no, they didn't have any storyline change. No, it just simply was they had reset the scene.
Yeah.
And
wow, it's inconsistency in their filmmaking. They should be shot. You sent me some more as well. Let me see.
I have to tell you about this mural, and it's in downtown, and I haven't been out there for a while. I did take a picture, but I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Of a art mural that someone had done on a building, and it has the old American flag in it, which you have a copy that I showed you that says NASA.
Oh yes, I'll put it on the next
one. The NASA logo's changed in weird things. That's
that one there, yeah. That's the one from Star Trek, isn't it? The one that they have in Star Trek. And when the bigger picture of that one, it's actually the two guys from Star Trek. Picard and the other guy, I think, isn't it?
Okay.
I think so, yeah. If you zoom out on that one, it's the two guys. It's Picard,
so it's obvious that they didn't take a photograph of that flag. They actually, some artist drew it.
Yes, it's an artist rendition. Yeah.
And that's another thing I want to talk about, is that if you draw it from memory, the likelihood it'll change in your little, poster book or whatever you've got, less likely it's going to change, and it'll give you a little more, maybe make you feel a little less wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Well, I have a book there somewhere that shows the history of the American flag, about changing from the star-spangled banner, which was the red line underneath a certain amount of stars, in 1776, and then 1778 it changed to another different one. And the red line represents the line of blood, the river of blood that they went through the wars or whatever, and it changed it around. But it seems to slip from. Some people think we're just sweeping from timeline to timeline, and we get it, and we don't get it, and sometimes we go.
My personal history, it had the red line against the blue.
Against the blue.
Yeah. Well, these symbolic meanings.
Yes.
I think are symbolic of the timeline differences too.
Yeah.
It's like the Statue of Liberty, who used to hold up the torch in her left hand.
Yes, correct.
And that's the feminine side. That's the nurturing. That's the healing. That's the sign of love and compassion. Well, now she holds up the right hand, which is it's like the Empress. I do tarot. The Empress is the nurturer, the one who births all life and beauty. And the Emperor, the right hand, he's the one that takes that into the real world, but he's also the warrior.
Yeah.
And so, you have this very masculine energy being, um, held aloft with this torch. And I think there's a lot of symbolic meaning there
A lot of
in the
symbolic meaning in a lot of them. Yeah, I think
changes of the
now.
timelines.
Nouns and pronouns, sexualization or desexualization in Mandela effects, bell drops and other stuff like that. Does have other. I was going to ask you that actually. What do you think are the most sinister Mandela effects you've ever seen? I've seen some really nasty ones, and they can go down and they make a theory. A theory about oh shit. What can you? Anyone stick out in your mind?
I'm trying to think.
I'll give you an example if you wish of my one. One of my ones.
Okay.
Tutankhamun, where he got the snake, the serpent coming out behind the front of the headrest, the headset.
You mean this one?
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Let me put you on screen there. Have you got that? That's the one. Yeah, there you go. So you have a book already. Isn't that weird? So that one is one of the most serious ones for myself. I actually have a picture behind me. I don't know if you can see it, as well, here in the corner, of Tutankhamun here.
I actually have that poster.
Nice.
But I don't have it up right now.
Okay. And that's actually it's on a big lump of wood, on a big massive lump of wood. I got it in a cherry shop. It's lovely, but that's a sinister one for me because something's popping out.
The meaning. The meaning.
Yeah, it has a meaning. It has a deeper meaning. Is there anything that sticks out for you that?
And the vulture is a bird of carrion. He eats the dead. Okay. And the snake is much more of a powerful, aggressive kind of creature. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's a lot doing that. I think some of the changes too, the biblical changes are disturbing. I find.
Yes, well, that's even it's a lot more deeper meaning into the biblical.
Yeah, I read the Bible first when I was about 8, and I was Mormon for many years. I'm no longer, but a lot of study of the Bible. So it's not like I'm not familiar. Mm-hmm. And the change of the lion and the lamb versus the wolf and the lamb.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. That's the
one. The lion's considered a noble, brave, courageous creature who takes. I don't think that wolves are bad, but we're talking about symbolism here of that era. Yes. Perhaps is the best way to put it. Mm-hmm. And how wolves are considered, sneaky and opportunistic, and things like that, and dangerous, and will attack people for no reason and that sort of thing. So that's a whole different type of philosophy with that. Mm-hmm. And then we have all the different weird stuff with, what Jesus said or didn't say, and, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Of course. They make just one word changing in one sentence of the Bible changes the whole.
Well, we know now that a lot of that is probably due to translation errors. King James.
Every priest I've ever asked have had arguments about translation and stuff like that. And that's the one that got me into the Mandela effect, by the way.
King James, though, you have to remember, King James said yay or nay to things. Yeah. And if they translated something a certain way and he didn't like it, guess what happened to it?
Out the window with it.
And then we have the apocryphal books, which are very interesting, too. Anything that shows female empowerment, the apocryphal books, some of them show the women being very, proactive in the church, whether you believe in it or not. But it's still women are being considered more equal to the men, and all those books got hidden away and put away, and nobody wants to talk about them.
Fighting history.
About personal Mandela effects, the cup that changed. That's one.
Yeah.
Things I've personally seen. That was just within minutes. I'm fiddling with this white porcelain cup and making my Yorkshire tea, and I put the wrong tea in it because I was not paying attention. I said, I want the other tea. I put in loose leaf tea and I didn't want it, and I put that away. And I fiddled with this cup for a good 10 minutes before I filled it.
Okay.
And I put it in my room, my media room, and I leave and I come back again, and it's a different cup. It's a big, huge blue earthenware cup. all of a sudden. And I'm just looking at it like, I don't know if you've had this happen where you just go, you look at it like, wait a minute.
Yes.
And there were two houses that changed color abnormally rapidly. You know, I had my house painted, and it took them a good 3-4 days to paint my house. Okay, it's a duplex, but even so, a regular house takes at least a couple of days. You know, with a trim and everything.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm driving my son to work, and there's this house. It's all of a sudden is this burnt orange color. And then one house that's closer to me is all of a sudden almost the same color. And I said, there's some kind of symbolism here about burnt orange, you know. I don't think orange is a whole lot of people's favorite color. You know what I mean? But I mean, these houses.
Yeah, it wouldn't. But it stand out, though. It stand out. A big orange house, you'd think you would have seen that because it'd be prominent.
Well, yeah, especially when I go by every day.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
One day it's orange, you know, out of the blue, and you're just going. And one of them it looked like it was orange, but not like it was newly done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it had been that way a while. And I was going, I think I would have noticed that.
Yes, of course.
And I think the house next to me changed color. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, wasn't that? And I don't remember them painting it again because I live right next door.
See you later, Raoul. God bless you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for popping in. Sorry, carry on. Just want to say goodbye to you before I pop there.
Anyway, I did want to talk about options you might have. I have also this wonderful book called Trademark and Designs, and I did because you mentioned Ford. They have, you know, the official, and you notice there's only one. It has a little curly Q thingy bob, you know.
Okay.
And it didn't when we, you know, originally saw it. At least not when I did.
Mm-hmm.
And John Deere's another one that never used to have the E.
That's right.
And that you see the residual of that from time to time.
I've seen that. Do you know where I've seen that? I saw the residual in the movie Perfect Storm, and then it changed because the guy, what's his name, the main guy wears a John Deere hat. George Clooney, he has a John Deere hat on it. I think it's
my dad was offered a job with John Deere, so I mean, it's something I've always would pay attention.
Well, I used to play with Ford cars when I was younger, so I was always on the Ford side as well. So when I saw that, that's kind of imprinted as well. You know, childhood memory disappeared because of the Mandela effect. It's weird, isn't it? Weird.
The things you can do to help you feel a little less. And my hair gets caught. Oh my goodness! Okay.
All right.
There we go.
You're all right, Gray. All right.
I have this. It's basically a scrapbook, okay? And you can cut out pictures, but that's really not going to help you unless you want to have pictures for contrast, you know? Because if you draw from a picture, it's going to look like the picture, and the timeline change, it'll change too.
Yeah.
I know. I did a picture of Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
And I painted it for my son, but I'd use the picture to copy it.
Okay.
So it doesn't have the tail change.
Okay.
So, and I don't know. I don't think I've done anything in here yet.
Okay, but it's something for the future to use. Yeah.
I'm gonna, and you know, I have books like this, you know.
Oh, sorry, I keep thinking. And
world records, things that you know, you find something that.
Speaking of world records, I'm actually in the Guinness Book of World Records 3 years in a row. But world record books, top shelf, I've got all the way down to the first book of records over on that top shelf. I think my oldest one is one of the first ones they ever brought it. I think it's the second edition.
You need to share your pictures, so I
will. I used to do book shows where I would go out and do that. But you know, time Then I used to do photographs. I've taken photographs of the pictures and do shows like that. And I do have some photographs of some residue, but I've so many. You just pick a book. You know, I used to do a show where I would go like this to people. I would just say to people here, look, just tell me to go over. I'll put my hand on my bookshelf here. 5 over, 2 down, and 1 across, right? And I'd pick out the book and there'd be residue in it somewhere. Be residue. I have actually 2 toys here, 2 Volkswagen toys that I bought in the same shop. They're from the same company. They're both built. Let me just, if you don't mind, give it a full screen for a second. They're both from the same company. As you can see, they're both Volkswagen vans. But one has, you can see on that one has the gap on it, which it doesn't on the box, but it actually does in real life. And one doesn't have the gap on it. On the actual toy itself, inside as well, one has the gap and one doesn't have the gap. And I used to always have the argument, well, was the guy who didn't put the gap in, was he fired? Because that doesn't exist. And is that why? Well, it actually works out that the one with the gap was made after or before the one without the gap in the factory. Isn't that weird? You know?
That is strange.
So it is. I don't want to take them out because a lot of bits, but you can see they're actually physical toys inside them. And on the front of that van has the gap, and on the front of that one doesn't.
Well, you know, Volvo has a similar thing where they suddenly started having that male symbol.
The male sign, yeah, the arrow pointing out the top of it, yeah.
And I think we're seeing, like when we talk about sinister and weird, that this attempt to push masculinity, you know, as we come into a more balanced realities, I'm hoping, where men and women are more equal and we help each other more and we work together for the betterment of everyone. There's this pushback of sorts against change. And I think we're seeing that very, very clearly, that people don't want change. I mean, I don't know who these people might be. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but whatever the energies are that are resisting it, I think it's very clear that they are. There's some kind of resistance going on, and I could not tell you what it's from.
Just speaking of what's going on right now at this moment, the last couple of days we've noticed the movie, like Tommy Tellershoot, I'm sure you know Tommy, God bless him, he found the movie Gun and Run that mentions the Mandela effect, where he has a whole scene where he talks about Shazam, he talks about other bits and pieces in the movie. It's part of the whole script. Then I'm watching Peacemaker last night, and they're, I think I've sent you that clip where they're actually sitting there in the van arguing over Bernstein, which they're bringing it in slowly into the media. But remember, they made the Mandela Effect movie, which was a total, to be honest with you, just made it look like a simulation theory, which never brought it into the consciousness. But what are they doing that for? Why are the media letting that do? They must be bringing it into some sort of, you know what? It's out there. We know they all know about it, but here's another thought. I'm sorry I'm going to be sporadic. Who would it take? What celebrity would it take to come out on stage and go, the Mandela effect is real, for us to get a recognition in a way, or feel recognized as a community? I don't think we will ever do it in a mainstream way, unless we go full on sci-fi in a matter of minutes. Like singularity change, where our beliefs in one.
Maybe Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah, maybe maybe that there is no spoon altogether, and that kind of Keanu Reeves. I don't know.
Speaking of, maybe Oprah Winfrey. Now, Oprah Winfrey, I have some residual information on her where her name changed.
Okay.
From WINFREE to FREY. I think that her name changed, and it's like from the one way to another way. And some of these changes are like, you just think, well, that's kind of, I think people that don't believe in it should realize that why would we make it up, something like that?
Exactly.
I mean, why would we make that up, really?
Well, look at Jim Carrey with double R's or double E's.
Oh, I think he's affected for sure.
He knows straight up, man. He knows straight up. Sure, that interview that he came out and said he wasn't here, he was there. That was him telling you, by the way. Because if you look at the Mandela effect, his name just flip-flopped in. It flip-flopped, and then he came out and did his video. Of course he knows. Joe Rogan, yeah, Joe Rogan done a whole lot of Mandela effect. There is a lot of people talks about Mandela effect, but I don't think we watch the shows. There's a movie, there's other movies there's one that I remember clearly that he just says, "Oh yeah, that's a Mandela effect," and that's all they say about the whole lot. But to hear that in a movie that's got prominent actors in it, everyone knows about it. Of course,
people weren't very happy about the X-File Mandela effect show, but at the very end, after they debunk it and everything, the boss says, "Well, what's so and so doing here? Who used to work for the X-Files apparently?" And he remembers him, so it's like a little,
Yeah, I think
wink,
so. I
nudge,
think they had
nudge.
to do a humorous. They had to kind of do a humorous way about it in a way. I thought it was good. It was interesting that they had, because they had to study that. They have to do that in a way where, they have to go through so many bosses to get this approved. So it is known.
Remember the scene where they show all of the different Mandela effects in this guy's little store, including the 3-layer Jello and all the different little things that supposedly don't exist, never did exist. He has copies of them.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting.
The guy who made the video was on with Brian McFarlane, and I think he was on Moneybags as well. A few other people as well, doing a bit of research and talking to the community about it, which I thought that was quite nice as well. But the focus of the movie didn't focus on the residual evidence, which proves that, well, why do I have this physical evidence? Just that's all. If I made a movie, I'd just sit there and go, why do I have this physical evidence for an hour and a half, and that's it. Fuck it, that's all I wanted it to say, and show physical evidence. Show physical evidence. I didn't think they brushed on that at all, which they should have. I think they should have. Maybe. Hi, Jared. By the way, Jared Neal, how are you? Well, welcome along, Jared. God bless you, and thanks for being here. You did send me a few more residue pictures. I think there was one of a clock. What was that one for? Was it?
Well, the 4 in the clock keeps on changing.
Yes.
And for a long time, you couldn't find any that had the IV or whatever. Then you could find. Then they started both showing up. So now you see clocks that have both of them.
Yes.
This was at a thrift store. Excuse me.
Yes.
And the one in my living room, however, is still 4 ones. And when I bought it, it was an IV. Because it was quite a long time ago. So when that changed, I'm just looking at it like, sometimes it just hits home.
I went into a shop in Greenwich and talked to someone about that. I have pictures of that that clock, but see the way the V it's inverted. The way the V is on the other side, it's actually out the way. So the V's are pointing out. That's they're actually if you look at the clock from the bottom, they're facing down. If you know what I mean. So the V is reversed. But I actually talked to her about the 1111 and the 1 versus the 1V. And she said to me that in history, in the UK history, that King Louis, one of the mad King Louis, got that changed by whatever, because he couldn't be bothered. He couldn't read Roman numerals, so he just thought it'd be easier to just for 1111, which is 41, something like that. It was the mad King Louis that changed it. But residual evidence, I have a clock like that over there as well. They do pop up in different timelines, and I've seen the shops with both on the one wall, which is
my memory now. You have to remember, I've always been a history buff. I've always been one of these people who want to learn everything. The walking encyclopedia nerd. That's me. Okay,
that's the same as myself. There's my clock. Look, either way, the V and all is facing down the way. It's sort of. So that as well, but I was told that this was, or the other side, that was changed.
Yeah, they've been switching. Sometimes they're facing the center, sometimes they're facing this way. Now this one they're facing against the center. When most, they used to always have it so that it looked upright. Until you hit the 9, then it would flip. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hi, Singe Man. By the way, hi, Singe Man. How you doing? Welcome along, Singe Man.
Tommy Boy playing with the desk fan saying, "Luke, I am your father." Yeah. Tommy Boy. Yeah, that was Chris Farley, right?
Tommy Boy. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure. Tommy
Yeah,
Boy.
it's Chris Farley from
Sure.
Saturday Night Live that's in Tommy Boy.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forrest Gump, even he had a thing on Saturday Night Live where he says, "Life's like a box of chocolate. You never
James
know what you're
Corden,
going to
yeah.
get." And he says that several times during a
That's
scene.
in James Corden with him and James Corden, yeah. I think. I think. Is it no? No, that's on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, no. I have a big clip of about an hour, about 20 minutes of him doing that, and another guy who does an impression of Tom Hanks, and he sits there, but he does all these outtakes of it, and it's so fucking fun, but it's vulgar because when you listen to the Forrest Gump story, he talks about Forrest Gump's mother doing sexual pleasure to the teacher just to get him through college and all this, and how his girlfriend was a whore and this, that, and other and all. It goes real mad into it, but it gives you also a different version of what the movie's about in a way with the the
Well,
underlying.
she actually does do that, but
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
of
best
course she does.
for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best reasons.
But the guy takes the piss out of it, but like just the totally just improv con. He rips the piss out of it. But every take he takes is life is like a box of chocolates, and it's that line. I done an edit of it once. I done an edit of the actual Tom Hanks line.
Well, this
There's
one
another
was with actually Tom Hanks doing it, and
yes.
saying
There's
it
an
very
outtake of
quick.
that.
And
There's an outtake. There's an outtake on in that was given out on the VHS. It's on my channel somewhere. That is actually the actual residual evidence on the outtakes where it's a different angle, and it's an outtake where he says life is like a box of chocolates from this angle, from the side angle, and then when they retake it, he said life was like a box of chocolates. That's what when you see that. That's not on VHS anymore because we don't get the VHS anymore. The outtakes ones. How could people deny it? How can he deny it? How can he even go around doing deny it when he's even saying the same lines on, as you say, the Saturday Night Show? He's on the James Corden show, and there's it's one of the most famous phrases. And people say that he says that the famous line is on the actual DVD box as well, right? Which you've seen it on the DVD box. Life is like a box of chocolates on the box.
Yeah.
People say that it's on the box because his mother says that at the end. She doesn't say that at the end anymore. She says life's like a box of chocolates. Not life is or life was. She says life's like a box of chocolates. Not is or like. So, where are they getting that from? That changed for me as well because she used to say life is like life was like a box of chocolates at the end, which means, because she's obviously passing away or whatever. But that
I remember that.
Yeah, that's gone now. She says life's a box of chocolates. That's it.
I would like to know whether or not when they were making the movie, if they kept flip-flopping on that line.
I think they all know him, Sally Field, Ron Howard, a whole lot. I think in this is my one of my mad theories. I think that there's different. They go from this version of themselves to another version of themselves to another version of themselves, and they pay no attention to line changes from different versions to different versions because there's so many different timelines to go, and they're all in it. I think Sally Fields died in another reality, and now hence the reason why we have Sally Fields. So she never came back as Sally Fields. It's just Sally Field, and now she knows all about it because people have asked her 1,000 times,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Oh, don't worry about that." She has this almost.
You like me, you really like me.
That one there, yeah, that's a great one. I have a picture of that where she says, "You love me, you really love me. Right now, you love me." Or it's totally changed, and she had a necklace on at that time. She's mingled up with it. Tom Hanks is mingled up in it. They all, her brother works for CERN. They're all, and everyone that's. Here's another thing: the flag of CERN has all the logos that have changed as well. Have you noticed that? If you go onto their website, all the logos that are on their website are the ones that have changed the Mandela effect. It's almost as if they're going, "Do you know what? We done that. Look at us. Look at us." Everyone that comes here and opens up a new part of CERN is involved in Mandela effect movies. Tom Hanks is in about 50,000 of them. Sally Fields in loads of them as well. So yeah, I think they all know about it. They all know about it. Definitely. Sorry, I went off on a tangent then, so I get passionate about that. They're all fucking mad. They all know about it. They all know about it. There's a Union Jack one that I picked up. It's just
obviously artist renditions are going to be the indications of their personal
That's on the front cover. Of the,
I'm
God
like,
bless you. God bless you, sweetheart.
excuse me.
Jared said it's good to keep publicising the undeniable Mandela effects. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, the fruit of the loom. My goodness, that was.
Yes, the cornucopia.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like.
How have you not noticed that?
Yeah.
How have you not noticed that? Do you know what? Let me. I have some residue to get through. Let's see if I can get through. Because remember last time we didn't do any of mine, did we?
We were too busy. I was too busy channeling my Irish side.
We were. Yeah, we were.
I said, now I know why I talk so much.
Let me do the full screen.
Stop the Scott.
Here we go. Where we go. Right, full screen. We'll do it this way. This one. Right. Can you see that?
Yeah.
The Lion and the Lamb.
I mean, that's a real warm, fuzzy. I mean, you always get this warm, fuzzy kind of feeling with the Lion and the Lamb. Two possible enemies coming together in harmony and love.
Yeah.
You don't feel that way with the wolf, and the
no.
lamb.
No.
You know?
Definitely not.
You feel more of a Looney Tunes feeling, which is another ME.
Yes. Speaking of, I actually think I have one of them actually I have one of them coming up next, I think. The Looney Tunes, which is, but yeah, tired of this one. This one does give you that warm glow, doesn't it? Reminds you of your kid when you were a kid and you were listening to the Bible. Yeah,
and you'll see quilts, are that
embroidered stuff,
embroidery, and people that have done these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody who, I know that there are people that are religious individuals that are pastors and whatnot have noticed things. Of course,
I have Mandela affected one of my friends who was a priest, and I asked him directly, certain questions about the Bible Mandela effects, and I'm not saying that he disappeared for about a year, and then when I asked him again, he says, "I'll go away from me. You wrecked my head with that Mandela effect." I lost my mind for about 6 months. So if he does know about it, well, he did then. He does now, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I've asked many a priest, and I've walked into many a church and asked them about the Lion and the Lamb. To see them switch, I've never seen anyone switch so quick as a priest, which is weird. Go get the download, the opposite download, as quick as a priest or a bishop. Weird.
Yeah, and I have.
But they swear by their book, though, don't they? They swear by their book. So if you quote a book, they're going to back it up. Oh, it's translation. Probably being told to say that about every translation.
Yeah, I don't know where I have a little piece of paper that says "Trust yourself." I remind myself of that. Trust yourself. I think that's good advice. You don't have to be belligerent about it.
No.
Just trust yourself and don't let people rattle you. Exactly. And there's Boris.
This is a picture of Boris Johnson. I've done a song which was called "Lockdown Boris Bonson" because there's a kid saying Boris. The way he pronounces Boris Johnson is Boris Bonson because he's like 2 or 3. And he was given out about the lockdown, so I done a remix of it. But this is the poster I picked. I just put in Boris Johnson, and this is one of the first pictures to come up. He has a symmetrical Union Jack behind him. Wow.
He's a bit of a con man, isn't he?
Sure, he's nuts. He's crazy, man. He's crazy.
He's like a salesman. He's like whatever you want to hear. He's very, very much a politician.
He is. He's a god. He's a trailer trash Trump. Someone said to me, "He's a trailer trash Trump, or he's a worse version of Trump." And I said, imagine taking Boris Johnson's head and put it on to Donald Trump's head and reversing it over. They both die. Be great. Done with them. Sorry. This is another one. This is a painting. This is someone's artist's rendition of the Union Jack. So, you can see it. They painted it from memory, but that's just laziness, isn't it? Not into the detail. I want to make a quick picture. So, now we're getting into some stuff. Jiffy peanut butter went from Jiffy to Jif.
Yeah. I grew up on Jiffy.
Okay, so you remember Jiffy as well. That's solid in your memory as well.
I sure do.
Wow. So that's there's not so much for me because that's not really a big thing in the UK, and I'm not too much into the beta butter already. But it's not a big one for me.
It's
but
one of the food groups in America, man.
Yeah, it's one of the food groups, isn't it? There's another one that this reminds me of Weetabix. Remember Weetabix? WHEET or whatever. Now it's not WH, it's WEET.
Yeah.
So they've dropped the H. The reason why
which doesn't make any sense at all.
Not really, no, not really. It's just weird the way they're yeah. There's a lot of food stuff changing around. But there, I have another one of this as well, another bit of Residue. This is on a website, I think. There's Boris Johnson again. Look, there's the flag on top. He looks better there, doesn't he?
Kind of looks a little bit like Marilyn there.
Ah, geez, get him off screen. So beam me up, Scotty. We're just about to go beam me up. I think you said this is an old picture I used to use for System Fighter 2. All gold. There you go.
Yeah, my kids remember him being all gold, but their explanation, which is says, "Oh, that's something that George Lucas changed for fun or something." I'm going, no.
There is a theory that he said about that he's moving.
He did tweak a few things, but if you have the original VHS and it's all of a sudden it's got a white leg, it's like
no, yeah. I've got so many versions of the VHS. I just buy them. I pick them up, and anytime I see Star Wars, I pick it up. I have a bag full of Star Wars DVDs, and they're all the same. They're all the originals. It's weird. It's just had that connection. When I was younger, I wasn't really bothered. Other than the Mandela effect. Jared says
I am reading all the comments, by the way. I'm not ignoring you.
No, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. You're all right. Here we go. Looney Tunes. Is it TOONS or TUNES?
It used to be TOONES, I do believe.
That's on the back of Space Jam. You know, the DVD or the VHS of Space Jam, the movie, it's spelled TOONS.
It was Tunes, TOONS, because you know what? Remember Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
They were Tunes.
Yes.
TOONS.
This one.
That was a reference that the cartoons were crazy.
Yes, tunes.
It wasn't about the music. It was about the cartoons were crazy.
Yes, exactly, because they were tunes. I know. And then they had, that's in my memory as well. This one here, the Bernstein Bears, this is a big American one. It's not really one of the ones.
I have a huge box of them, and I read them to my kids almost every night.
I have a video of that, actually. I should show you.
And
a real book. Go on. Sorry. Go ahead.
And the Berenstain Bears doesn't flow as well as Berenstain Bears in the hearing, but Berenstain Bears is also much more Jewish name than Berenstain. So this could be possibly a change due to anti-Semitism in the family at some point. Something was worse.
Yes, I get you.
That in one timeline they were discriminated against much worse, and so they changed it to be more of the German spelling rather than the Jewish spelling.
Yes.
Just my theory. I mean, I don't know.
I get you.
Sure.
I get you. I get what you're saying. I'm just going to look up for a video I have there actually of a woman with an actual physical book in her hand, and it has spelled. She's astonished by the way it is. Let me get it. It's only one.
Well, they'll also say, "Oh, that was just a misprint," or I mean,
it's all over the book. It's all over the book.
The people that this makes people feel uncomfortable to have the idea that reality is not a fixed, solid thing. It's never been a fixed, solid thing.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
I personally think that it all started to go wonky with the bombing of the Japanese, that the quantum whiplash from that
it sort of sent some.
Oh, look at that. I have that book, I think.
So here we go. Let me just watch this video, really quick video. Watch this.
Oh my gosh, I just wanted to let you guys know. Look at this. Look.
Big
oh my
screen.
god. Like, are you guys seeing this? Okay, so Shane Dawson, man, I'm like your biggest fan, and I love watching your conspiracy videos. Honestly, I'm super skeptical. I just love watching the conspiracy videos because you're hilarious in them. So I was just in a garage sale the other day, and I picked up a couple of children's books because I'm a teacher, and I wasn't even paying attention to the book, and then when I started looking at the title, I noticed the Bernstein Bears. And then I immediately thought of you because you did that video a while ago with the conspiracy theory about the Mandela effect, about how like people thought that Mandela was dead or something. I don't know. It's like crazy ass stuff. But then I saw this and I'm like, what? Like what? I don't know, man. Like I remember that this is what it was spelled like, but I thought maybe I was just misremembering or something. But look at it, Bernstein. The Bernstein, like, dude, it's Bernstein Bears, like, it's seriously all the way, like, even here.
Yeah.
Do you think she just printed that book? That looks kind of.
I can't. I'm just so confused.
That looks legit.
Anyways.
Yeah, that looks pretty. That looks just like the book I have. Do you think?
I'm gonna share that in the chat, guys. Please. That's my different channel. That's called in the Mandela Effect. It's real. I have another channel with just Residue on it. By the way, if you want to go look over there. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think that when people find out about the Mandela effect, all of a sudden things start happening to them? Do you think that there's some kind of influence we have personally by acknowledging it?
It puts you on a different path. Or it makes the path wider that you're on, maybe. Would that be the way? Because it makes
it's just all about being in the present moment and paying attention.
Well, that's what when I first got into the Mandela effect, it's almost as if it became second nature for me to walk outside and get residue. That's what I'd done from day to day. I would do my groups and someone would ask me for residue, and that day I'd have five things in my head, and I go out and get pictures of residue, and I come back in and try them onto the group. And I would do that on a way that I started getting weirded out, that I was actually thinking, am I manifesting this residue in front of me every time I walk outside because someone's asked me and I really, really want it? And I could do that, and I might time slip it and go from one reality to another because these things shouldn't. But then the abundance of the amount of residue that I could find, and I used to go out I go into the library and I'd be, near enough putting white gloves on to touch a book to see if the original book had a different translation than, or all that kind of stuff. And then I think it did really hit me that impacted my life, that it was 24/7, that I was on the journey of finding residue, finding the reality that I was from, in a way. And that's kind of what we all are kind of doing. We're trying to find that reality, or that place that we're actually originally from, that we feel at home in.
I think the biggest thing is that you have to really have a strong sense of who you are and what you are and why you are, and have some kind of security within yourself. Otherwise, this stuff can really whammy you.
Well, upbringing when I was young, bringing up the upbringing I had, I don't think I didn't realize that it had prepared me for something like this, because the spiritual aspect of the whole Mandela effect is more so than the residual, because we can't do anything about the physical evidence or what we see in front of us, but the spiritual side of what we think about it, what we think it could be, where our mind goes to, knowing that something is being controlled by something totally out of that we can't see, feel, touch, or whatever, or we're in control of ourselves. That I think it did prepare me in a way, but not knowingly as I was going through it. So it didn't impact me that much, I suppose. I did have, because of my mental health, there has been certain times where I do think that I'm dead, and everything that I see, hear, feel, touch, fucking believe in, or not believe in, but see, feel, touch, and interact with is all my own imagination, because I am, I'm just sitting in a dark hole with my eyes closed and just making it all up because I'm so bored, because it's eternity in whatever. But then again, I don't know, it's a weird way I look at stuff, so I don't get too freaked out in a way, you know what I mean? It's my mind has gone to the darkest places and the weirdest places. So this Mandela effect to me is just like, yes, I've got something to live for. Let's go do it. I want to find out what it is before I go. Put it that way. And I don't think in this lifetime we ever will have a full explanation of what it is because they're dragging their feet.
Have you felt in the people you've come across that are affected, are they have a tendency to be more spiritual people or more people that question the status quo a little more, a little more open-minded? Is there some kind of a common thread? Because I've always tried to figure out what makes us alike, if there's anything.
Find the truth of reality. I think here's what I did find a thread in, which brought a lot of people to the Mandela effect. Some sort of traumatic out of body experience in their life that had happened in and around whenever has brought them from there to here. I found that I've had a few myself where I've tried to end my life, or certain things have happened where I've had an almost a fucking wake up or die shit moment, and then popping into the Mandela effect. Yeah, that can happen.
Like a trauma?
I've seen that, like a traumatic thing that happened in your life, and then almost an awakening. Yeah. That was a trend at the beginning. People who had them traumatic things all almost suddenly awoke to the Mandela effect. And then the Mandela effect is almost a traumatic event in itself as well. Anyway, by figuring out that reality isn't what reality is. We only see 5% of what's out there. And the other bit is not in our control, but it's under someone's control. But who the fuck's control is it? Whole shit.
We know from science. I was always a biology person, a science person, ever since I was a little child. It's also very spiritual, but I've always loved the physical world and this place we live in that's so amazing and interesting. Mm-hmm. That I often, you think about, visible light, for example, yes. That we don't see colors. We see a vibration that our brain interprets as color. So everything is vibrational if you really, especially as you go down to smaller. Yes. There's no physicality at all.
No.
So I don't know how much are we, because we're affected, have more effect on that. I know that I can manifest things, some pretty bizarre stuff. That big binder thing that I had, I said I wanted that, and I went to the thrift store, and there it was. Anytime I need anything, and I have a good reason to need it, it'll be there. The book will be there that I need, or the object will be there that I need. So I don't know if we have more power. If we have more power, or if we're simply more aware, or simply we're plugged into this energy that we can manipulate
consciously, subconsciously, on some sort of level. We're ahead
I think a lot of it's subconscious. That's why it's
our
so
subconscious
important.
is well ahead of our subconscious thinks at a level so quicker than our consciousness in a way. Here's just on that where you're saying manifesting. See, this picture here is a picture of the Statue of Liberty with the wrong hand up. I went to, I went down to the coast of England to meet someone. I'd never been there before. I'd never been to this shop before. We just happened to go into a shop, and the second crate I went into, that was in it, and it was behind loads of other pictures. I just went, oh wow, there you go.
Isn't it funny? Have you noticed how you're sort of guided?
Yes, exactly.
I want to go over to this little spot here and look, and there'll be something that you've been looking for.
This one here as well is the exact same. I walked into the shop. I walked in. The woman was just about to put it on the wall, and I said, "I'll have that." This one the same. It was just sitting there upstairs with the same place as I got this one. So yeah, that's what I felt like for a long time, getting all these books and pieces. And it wasn't. I couldn't walk down. I have a route that I go around with all the charity shops, and I couldn't not go out my door without doing the charity, without doing it. It was almost like OCD, and you could feel it, or you couldn't.
Siren call.
Yeah, almost like a little, come here, I got residue, come here. It's weird. It's And that became
I
a big
know.
part of it, a big part of my life going out doing it. But it also made you forget about the other shit in your life, which is kind of, in a way, good, because a lot of shit's going on.
Well, one thing you can say, those of us who seem to be aware of this, is that life is never boring.
That's right. That's right. It isn't. There's always something to do. If you get bored with your life, just walk around and just think, has this changed, or when did it change, or even look for residue. Here's a deep question I always want. I asked a few times before. I'd like to ask you. I'd like to ask it as well. People who are in the chat. Do you think that? Okay, so reality. Do you think reality has a consciousness itself?
Yes.
Being around so long, and you think that it would, if it had a consciousness itself, it would do anything in its power not to not exist in some sort of form. So if it lost one reality, it would feel like it was losing its leg or its arm. If reality had a consciousness, so it'd be like your brain shutting down if it was one connection.
I think we have to understand that it won't be like consciousness, like human consciousness. It would be an intelligence, perhaps.
Yes, an intelligence. But imagine if we could bring it down to a sort of a microscopic scale. Imagine this planet as one neuron in a brain, and the brain being the massive of the space that we don't know of, and whatever. As a collectiveness, brain wise, you think everything that's known here is known elsewhere, just like Anyway, sorry, we're going off on a different thing. Do you think everything that happens and doesn't happen is reality's creation itself to keep itself going?
I have a feeling that sometimes when we see residual and all of a sudden it disappears, that it is the timeline trying to repair itself in a way, or something. I'm not sure what the mechanism is, whether it's, you could go full conspiracy out there, or it can just be something that's innate.
I'm good at that.
It could be something that's just that's part of the intelligence of the cosmos, perhaps.
Yeah.
It could be something that's so vast and enormous that we don't comprehend, that it has some kind of effect on us. Why we seem to be aware, I have no idea.
Do you think somehow humans, in some shape or form, not us, but maybe someone with better tech than us, has somehow figured out how to communicate with reality itself?
You makes you wonder.
As a consciousness, like we always meditate and we think we're going somewhere else or whatever, but actually physically thinking that we can actually talk and having a physical voice.
Well, if you think about the shamanic traditions, where they traditionally, in order to heal someone, they go from this physical reality into the spirit world, and talk the spirit world for the benefit of the person who's sick. And it works. Now, granted, there could be some placebo effect going on. I don't know. But what if it's not? What if they are going there and entreating the energies of the fabric of space to change and alter something for the benefit of someone? There's no way we would know for sure. It looks like there's something going on that has that a certain amount of power that someone might have to do that.
But you think it could be in a physical way? Like, if you can imagine this, just go into my mind for a second and picture this: a mechanism that someone, say, can sit into and talk to and adjust in an intellectual way with something that is also more superior than it, in a way. Not be able to manipulate it in a way, but being able to communicate it in a way to adjust it this way.
Well, from what
I look into it and be able to know from it what would happen if we done this, and getting knowledge from the lie itself rather than getting knowledge from here and just fucking, making a whole shit into it. Does give it a different level of the other 95% of the thing we can't see,
I always have this feeling, I couldn't tell you, but it's like that there is some kind of plan and intelligence behind things. Not sure if it's divine or not. We could have, groups here that have, through spiritual means, gained enough power to affect things for their benefit. I mean, that's full conspiracy on that, right?
Gnostic knowledge, I like to call Gnostic knowledge.
Right, exactly.
We're just spiritual guides in a way.
And then you have manifesting. It's like we seem to have that part of divinity, that part of power within ourselves that hit or miss on occasion. We do succeed at manifesting something for good or bad. So, but on the scale we're seeing, I would say it has to be something a lot larger than you or I. There's something much bigger in the works going on.
And that's kind of sort of another way around. Sort of, do you think that the thing that is happening, you know, that we are trying to figure out the answer is trying to hide itself? Or do you think that people here are trying to hide it?
Well, you know, I've heard theories that like.
Do you think they're doing it under the advice of it itself, or do you think they're doing it on the advice of their inner monologue that is so sadistic they don't want us to know the truth? That's kind of my kind of inner monologue. Is it the lie telling humans, or you know, the elite over here that don't tell them that we exist or this will happen, or are they going, you know what, we're not telling you what's over that other side till we figure out it 100% so we can manipulate every part of that as well as we do this before you go there? You know, that's, you know, but where is there? Well, sorry, sweetheart.
You know, I have a scar that keeps changing, okay, in my elbow. And it's like I kept on thinking I want it to be smoother. It had a big ridge and a big lump. And I told my daughter that. She says, "Oh, the scars change." I said, "You have to remember that I got this scar like 2008. It once it's modeled to a certain degree, it doesn't change significantly. I know that from medical education." Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so when it changes overnight, that tells me there's something weird going on, okay? I have this funny feeling that we're like a virus in the program.
Okay.
That those of us who are effective are like, you know, and it keeps trying to spit us out. And we keep getting bumped to the next timeline because, you know, we're causing trouble on this one. We've got to get them out of here, you know. Okay. And then there's a theory that we're collecting pieces of our spirit or our soul that have been fragmented during the World War II bombings, that have fragmented the timelines and fragmented our soul, that we're now going through the timelines to collect it. I mean, there's lots of theories. I just know that it's not unusual.
I'm an endless pit of theories. I get you. There's so many of them there that, you know, which ones are worth looking into more so, and which ones are the ones that we think other people have looked enough into. But there's the flip side of that coin is the only way to know it is by researching it all yourself and having your own perspective. But there's so many different theories, you know. Sometimes I do think that, I used to think that maybe the first theory that we ever had about the Mandela effect and what it was and how it became is right. And because we're conspiracy theories and we always think more so, we analyze everything down to the microscopic fucking level. We went past the truth, and now we can't see back so far how simplistic it is, that all of this is only, you know, the visual. This is just the part of where we're just gaining information in this body form or whatever it is. But what's hidden, the 95% is, you know, I don't know. Sorry, I went off another one there, but you get me. It's all good. It's all good anyway. Big shout out to Joe Blow. How are you, Joe Blow? I haven't seen Joe for a long time. Yo, I thought that said voodoo there for a second. I was going to talk about voodoo because there's this form of unknown forces, would you say, that a lot of people believe in? Do you have something to say about that? Because I know you do the tarot stuff and whatever, and that's kind of, I would say, similar.
You know,
but have you ever actually spoke to someone and gave a reading to someone Mandela affected? There's a question. Sorry. Or have you ever known anyone to be a Mandela?
I wasn't aware if they were or not.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's not something just been a few friends that I've done readings. They're usually very accurate.
Right.
We have what I think Carl Jung called the common consciousness, that we're all connected. I think that might be why we shift together, is that we have a stronger connection to each other. And so we kind of go with each other, like ducks in a row kind of thing, you know?
Yes.
And that, I don't know about you, but, you know, when it first started, I felt like I was a fish out of water. I felt like I didn't belong here, that, you know, I really don't feel like I belonged anywhere for a while, you know?
Okay.
It's this disassociation kind of thing, because your world is flipped upside down, because the Kennedy car now is now a stretch limo that didn't exist in those days, and it now has 6 people in it.
Yeah.
And there's all these films, and
Yeah.
and the policeman gets shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, which never happened. And it's like, you just wonder, am I going crazy? You know?
Yeah.
But I was alive when that happened. So, and I saw so many documentaries. I don't think I'm imagining things, you know?
No.
But when you start realizing that.
Yeah, when you start realizing that, it can be a bit.
I think I spent a year just stunned.
I spent
Really?
a year. I think I spent
least.
about in 2015. I woke up to it. Right, I knew something was going on, but there was other stuff going on in my life. I almost popped my head into it. I went, "Hey, what's up here?" And then went back down again and got into my life, and then went, "Hey, what's up here?" And then I think my life and it balanced out, so I wasn't shocked by it when eventually I went, "You know what? I'm going to research this as a full-on thing." And
we pretty much roll with it nowadays.
It's every fucking day.
What now?
What now? It's right on the wall. It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere. Hi, Viney. How are you? Also, big hello to Dean. How are you, Dean? So funny. I have Dean underneath another Dean on my phone, and I rang him by mistake, and I was like, "Are you at my door?" I don't know what I said to him. God bless him, man. I don't know what time it was, but he's like, I hadn't spoken to him about 6 months, and he gets a random phone call from me going, what are you doing? Where are you? God bless you, Dean. And we also have Jared here as well, and we now have a few other people here as well. We are going to do some residue. Promise you we will do some residue before the end of the show, but I love this deepness of being able to, you know, talk about what we're talking about, you know, what affects most of our lives on a daily basis, the Mandela.
Because of the Irish in me, I'm changing the topic.
No, go for it. It's all good. We can change and back and forward and in and out. They're used to this kind of show. So
relatively recently, now there are twin fetuses in King Tut's chamber.
Say it again.
Twin baby mummies.
Okay.
In King Tut's chamber. And they think it's his his children that died stillbirth.
Okay.
Totally new. It's like
new thing.
You have to remember, I was going to go see the King Tut exhibit in like 1982. It was in San Francisco, and our driver, funny thing, our driver suddenly had this problem. They couldn't bring us, but it's like, I was really into King Tut. Okay. I knew everything about King Tut. I mean, I was like his long lost sister. Okay. I knew. Okay. And there was never twin babies in the burial chamber. There were animals, you know, they have little canopic jars with the remains of animals that go with them to the afterlife. And I knew all about those. And all of a sudden there's twins. I'm going, what? Just saying.
Interesting, all right. Very odd. That's crazy, yeah. That's crazy.
Very odd.
That is crazy. There's do you think how many let me see if I can rewind my mind and say that question right. Do you think that Mandela effects flip-flop for a reason? Take us away from other ones that are happening, you know, because we know that, you know, the main ones, you know, whatever, the top 100, and they keep flip-flopping, and we don't notice these new ones, because that's a new one to me myself. That's the twins one. It is the one as well.
That stunned me.
That's a stunner. That's a stunner. That also on a different level could mean other stuff that, you know, now we've got two corpses of two demigods in a way, in this reality. because if you think this Tutankhamun is he thought he was a god, didn't he? And then obviously his kids would be gods.
Well, yeah, and the twins, that's Gemini, and there's a lot of symbolism regarding that, and there's symbolism in the stars, the constellation, and I have not jumped into that one. I've been busy having a strained wrist and having
God bless you, sweetheart. God bless you. So, wow.
I had to have a angiogram, and they always prepare you in case you had to have surgery. Have to have, I don't know if they would have had to do the graft, but they would have done like the rotor-rooter with the stent. Luckily, he says, after about half an hour, he says, you're fine. And but I mean, the aftermath of that chemicals put in you and all the, I need a hug.
A big spiritual hug out there to you. We're all giving you a big spiritual hug. Hey, even I'll give a big hug. Oh, big hugs for you. There you go.
That's what I need.
So you're still a bit fuzzy after the whole lot of what you're.
Well, yeah, and then here I'm, between they have the IV in this one, they have the heparin lock in this one. They're both hurting like a mother. I'm not a nice mother either.
No.
And then I have this major serious strain in this hand, and I'm just in so much pain.
Wow.
And I'm just I'm not crying like boo-hoo, but my eyes are I'm just watering. The pain is so great. They finally give me something for it. I said, well, I'll just go home and take an naproxen. They said, oh, no, don't do that.
Okay.
Because you can't have any thing that'll thin your blood anymore, because you've just been pumped full of this blood thinner that could be very serious. So they gave me one. I wish they'd given me one to go, because I could have used it that night. Do
you smoke weed?
No.
No, you don't take any marijuana.
If I have a chance, I'll get some gummies for pain, but this I can manage this. I can handle this.
Okay.
The gummies I used when I was really sick last May with a encephalitic kind of virus. I was so sick and 103 fever and in such pain. I mean, I was in such pain that my daughter got me some gummies that saved my life. I'll be honest with you.
What are gummies? Gummy bears?
No. They were. Each gummy was 5% CBD full spectrum and 5% THC indica. Nice. I didn't sleep for 2 days because of the pain. I finally got that and I could sleep and I didn't hurt. So it was, people need to realize this stuff is wonderful medicine and stop thinking it's some kind of gateway drug to heroin or something.
It's just marketed as that by the government, isn't it? It's marketed as that by the government, and that's all it is. It's not so many medicine. If you're it's
herbal medicine if you look at it that way.
I used to love. I grew up listening to Cypress Hill and the stuff that they say. All the herbs on this earth to use. God put them all in here to use.
Yeah, they're for our
not
use.
Not for us to just farm and put them wherever we want and keep them and sell them and tax it all whenever. None of that. There's so many medicinal principles that they know, but they just don't want to. They don't want to fucking.
Well, I know that they have painkillers. I've looked. I didn't find them anymore, but I guess maybe they're like a Mandela effect. But they were painkillers that were non-habit forming that were effective. I mean, none of this naproxen or ibuprofen stuff. That's what they've been giving us for years.
They've made us all more addictive. Yeah,
It just isn't effective. It's not so much addictive. It just isn't any good.
No question.
And they have these real medications that can be helpful. That they won't make them. They'd rather have you stuck on opioids or something.
Yes. A big fan.
I'm hoping as we shift in the timelines, this is and I try to have this belief and this energy so that it can encourage it to happen. That as we shift through the timelines, we start caring more about each other, start caring more about the earth, start taking care of the poor and the sick and the elderly, and that we start becoming more the kind of people we can be rather than the people we are. So, I mean, that's my heartfelt hope that those of us who are affected are more aware of the fact that this world is effed up really bad and that we can affect a change for the better.
Of course you can.
Not to get discouraged when you have the Mandela effect, which is easy to have happen.
The Mandela effect is just, It's like riding the bike, you know, it's just part of life. And if you know how to do it, you know how to do it. It's like get up and just one foot in front of the other. It's part of it.
But,
It does make it more interesting. It does make life more interesting, you know. I also, when I get bored of the Mandela effect, I look up and start looking for UFOs. Then I get bored of that, start looking for Mandela effect residue. Then I start looking, and then start talking to the version of myself.
The world is a magical place. It really is.
Take it all in. You turn that TV off, go on outside and have a look around and see what happens, you know. You'd be surprised. And as well as I do encourage people to, you know, take videos and put them up. So let's see what's going on down in, you know, what's in your skies. What kind of residue do you see? What differences do you make? Just go out and do it. Just do a little video.
You know, and you might feel like you don't do much for anyone, but you'd be surprised. I had a friend who was at a place I worked before my husband was on disability for a while. So I worked, and this gal, I quit because I was going to go back to school, and she quit to go back to school. And I ran into her at an occupational therapy assistant symposium because I was a OTA assistant student. Okay. And she thanked me for helping her become who she ended up becoming an occupational therapist. I became an occupational therapist because of you. Even though I wasn't into the field at that time, I simply was going back to school, and I told her in some medical area. And so, I mean, I had no idea that I had that kind of influence. So never give up on the good you can do in the world, and don't think that's because you don't know about the good you've done that you haven't done good.
Exactly. Don't need recognition for the good you don't. Let me just get me back into this. Where are we going? The residue, as we always promised to get to. Whilst we're talking, because we are going to talk as well, not just look at the residue by the guys. But let's just. It is on full screen. There we go. Now, rather than looking at us two, we've done that one. Luke, I am your father. Nah, Dad, you didn't say that. That's kind of funny.
I saw the original movie back in '77. I was pregnant with my eldest. He kicked me when the Death Star blew up.
Okay.
I was about eight months pregnant.
Wow.
And Luke, I am your father. I mean, this is like the iconic, most intense scene in the whole effing movie. This is like the most intense scene. And Luke, I am your father. It's like, and of course his overacting. No, you know, I mean, who would forget that he'd lost his hand because it got sliced off with a lightsaber, and also Darth Vader had lost a hand as well. There was like kind of a type of shadowing and foreshadowing and mirroring in that whole scene. So Luke, I am your father was like huge. Yeah. Anybody who was there and heard that would have to be an idiot not to remember that.
Well, the narrative, just the whole story, you know, it made more sense that that's what he said than what, you know. No, I am your father. You know.
Luke saying the word Luke, that's an intimate father to son.
And they were having that moment as well. They were doing that until they start battling it out and start fighting each other.
Saying no, I am your father would be silly. It says he'd say Luke, my son.
Yeah, of course. Especially when he's trying to get him to come back to him.
James Earl Jones even said, Luke, I am your father in some interview.
There's a few of them there. There is a few interviews that I've done. And even, I think there's also one there's a few clips. There's the Big Bang Theory where he mentions it. No, he doesn't mention it himself in the Big Bang Theory. He does mention it himself in 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men, there's a scene where he mentions
something like that. Yeah, it's been a few times.
Yes, of course.
And they're very careful not to admit stuff about the Mandela effect publicly, though.
Yeah.
He knows that about.
I don't know
if their agents tell them, hey, don't,
Did he get training on that? They must have some sort of training. There must be agents behind that, or agents.
Well, actors have what they call handlers.
Exactly.
And these handlers make sure they don't do anything stupid publicly.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one.
Nice one, isn't it? Nice one. If you just Google the Lion and the Lamb, this is one of the images. Come up, just go to the images.
Well, you certainly see them in paintings, the medieval and
stained glass window ones are nice. I'll find the photograph of stained glass window line. If you put in line in the lamb stained glass windows, you get some beautiful images up on Google. They're really worth it out. I've done a few videos of them. There's some beautiful, and they do bring back memories of your childhood, and it does give you that inner peace kind of, as we talked about earlier on.
Well, because it was comforting. It was comforting to know that this great beast, this powerful beast, and this very gentle, receptive and docile creature could sit together in peace. That was very comforting. The wolf's not so much.
The wolf not so much. I don't know which one. What is this one? That's really crap. This is another Jiffy peanut butter we were talking about earlier on. This is in an old.
See if you can find Oprah Winfrey residual.
I will now in a second.
As FREE instead of FREY, which doesn't make sense. FREY doesn't sound like an E sound. It sounds like Frey, the Oprah Winfrey, but
yeah. What spell it again?
Oprah, OPRAH. That's her first name.
Now see it comes up straight away.
It's REY, isn't it? It never was.
REY now, yeah. So let me.
Yeah, it was FREE originally, and I saw. I had saved a bunch of clippings. They were like TV clippings, TV, booklets that tell you when things are going to be on. Would have her name spelled the other way.
Yeah.
And not to mention that, but have you noticed how her appearance can change so drastic? Even giving weight loss, her appearance was like, is that the same? Oh yeah,
she's cloned. There's a big thing where they say that cloned rappers. Cloned rappers, and they say that all these people who have, had separate lives, a big part of media, that's a cloned version of themselves, and they come in every now and again when they want to, and they appear, or they let the clone go off and do it. Just open.
Well, type in instead of FREY, type in FREE. Just
I did. That's what I'm looking for.
But it won't give you anything.
Oh shit! That's shit. Oh no. FREE. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I put in. Yeah, the same.
Probably won't give it to you.
Probably not. It won't even give me our second name, really. Jump in and see.
And you notice that her backstory is all, in all this drama and being raped and stuff. And the same thing with the black poet. Oh gosh, what's her name? Same kind of backstories. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, I'm not saying they aren't true. I'm just saying how very odd that they seem to have similar backstories, overcoming and becoming great people. I don't know why that is. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll see if I can find my residual and I'll send it to you when I do. It's like,
oh, good. I have more residual here that will work. Yeah, if you send it to me, that's I can't. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. And we're using a different Google system that you in America.
Yeah. So, hello, Clarice. That was a big one. That he says that in the original movie. Now he doesn't say it. I mean, that was like the best line ever.
It was made it more
other
more,
than the Kiani line,
Yeah. I done a song about that one, so that's two different versions of the song. So I made these posters for the song that I made. Hello, Clarice. There's some more. Here's another one. I see white people. There's that line change is, makes it funny. When he says, "I see this guy." Where is he? That guy out there.
I see dead people.
he says, I see white people rather than say I see dead people in the movie, which gives it a comical twist because he's black. And it was at the age where they were doing that was the comedy, whatever.
Well, the Wayans brothers are brilliant. Have you ever seen White Chicks?
That's a classical music, or a classical cult music. I've seen it years and years ago. Yeah. Have you seen the new one? Have you seen his new one, the six tuplets or whatever it is, where he's playing 6 versions of himself? I don't know if it's this one or the other guy.
I haven't yet. No.
It's on Netflix.
But they're brilliant. They're absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant people.
very, very, very funny.
And
Very funny. But that's the one. Yeah, there it is. I see white people makes the line better in the movie than what it is. And there's a beautiful picture of the Lion of the Lamb, just to make your heart warm a little bit.
and they look so happy. Now
Yeah.
I have to show you because I'm that way, you know.
Okay.
I want to show you one of my favorite decks, the particular card that instead of a lamb, it has a woman, but she's there. There's definitely some kind of similarities. And I was like, go ahead and talk. I'll find it.
I'll talk away. Yeah, go ahead. Don't worry. You do your thing. I'll do some bit more residue because I have a few more pictures to get through. I actually had a few folders to get through, but I think some of them are the same. That's Jiffy again. So it's mostly it says GIF in the search, but it's Jiffy on the actual. Now I got this picture off the internet, so this could have been fucking Doctor.
Now is it still Skippy? Skippy's another one that was always Skippy. Is it still Skippy or is it Skip?
I don't know. I'm not too sure of that one. I think what's his name mentioned that earlier on. Your what's his name? Someone else is in the chat. Someone mentioned Skippy earlier on. Here's more residue. Haha, here's one. You know this one. Damn it, Jim. He never said that in the original series. Damn it, Jim. Now he doesn't say that in the original Star Trek series. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a fucking gobshite. Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
He said, damn it, Jim. He did.
He didn't, not in the original series. He only said it in the Wrath of Khan movie at the birthday scene. That's it. And that's the only time he mentioned it in the series.
Let me tell you something about the original series. When I was a kid, we'd be, back in the day when we used to play outside at night, we'd hear someone yell, Star Trek's on, and everyone would leave to watch Star Trek. So, damn it, Jim, he said it.
Damn it, Jim is right. Exactly.
Here's the strength card.
Oh, let me just
it shows the lion. Oops. And the lamb. It doesn't show the lamb, but it shows, sometimes it shows a woman with white. But it shows that she's got a chain on him. Sometimes she doesn't have a chain. Sometimes she has the mouth open with her hands, like in the circus, But I mean, is the archetype is one of power and strength, and the woman is an example of taming the beast within or overcoming. Using that power for good kind of thing. And I think that with the Lion and the Lamb, this is like the power is being used to protect the weak instead of to eat the weak. Okay. And I think that's why the Lion and the Lamb was so significant when it changed, because it was no longer that archetype, that illusion, I guess.
Yeah, I get you. I thought long and hard about the Lion and the Lamb because it was one of the ones that. And I remember specifically because I used to go to church. I grew up in a Catholic church, a Catholic house, so we used to go to church every week. And my aunties were nuns and stuff like that, and a very religious family. So I remember, priests saying that in scripture, and the Lion of the Lamb and pictures. Because usually when I'd be in church, I would be picturing, the picture in my head when as going along with the scripture as you would be reading, because I would be, reading Bibles anyway. But that was my best subject in school as well, all throughout kids' school and secondary school was religion. Not that I studied it to a level where I wanted to be a priest or anything like that. It just something about the stories, something about the mythology as well, the mixture of mythology and religion sort of became part of what we kind of lived. And then being, I don't know, it became exciting. We made up our own religion in a way, because we didn't see the divide between the Catholics and the Protestants, and that's where we lived at the time. So we just said, you know what, let's forget about the animosity and hate one religion because you don't believe in one thing. We're just one thing. We believe that there's a creator, and let's get on with getting drunk. Let's go and get drunk and forget about the rest. As kids you do. So you don't go by the whole trend of.
I put in a link
Oh yeah.
to a dolphin on our chat, in
You mean
the other chat. Now, I play Guild Wars 2. I am that's the only game I play. I started playing it because they said it was good for the brain, and it's a lot of fun. And they have a creature on there that's called a quaggan, and it looks just like this dolphin. And I did not know that this dolphin was even a real thing. And do you ever wonder if creators, like in games, that things start becoming reality in the physical sense?
Yes, I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this one because yes, I have seen stuff like that happen. I have seen stuff like that happen, but I also
think a lot of the cryptids we're seeing is because of the amount of belief and amount of stories and stuff. Now regular people are seeing them, but we can't seem to get any physical evidence. So I don't know if they're a tulpa, where they're created from a spirit energy into the physical manifestation that is ephemeral. It dissipates, so there's no proof or evidence. Or if it's a dimensional shifting that pops in and pops out. I don't know, but this dolphin looks exactly like the ones in the game.
Okay.
And I had never, I'm also a huge lover of science, and I have all these books and stuff.
Have you seen the pink dolphin?
That was weird. That was like
right.
I was going, oh, here's my trust myself.
Oh, you have. All right.
Have
you got other books here? No, I'm only looking at that screen, so sorry. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
This is the hammerhead shark. There's also been lots of debate as to whether, how much that's changed.
I have a quick story about the hammerhead shark. If you don't mind indulging me for a second. My mother used to be a lifeguard. When she was younger, when she at 14, she was a lifeguard, and I think around the age of 15, I think just around the age of 15, a hammerhead shark came into our bay, and we live on the east coast of Ireland. And a hammerhead shark in cold waters is very unusual. I think my mother had to clear the beach and clear everyone out of the bay because that was swimming around. Eventually, swam up the lakes and died. That's what it would swim in for because it was I don't know if it was old. I never found out, but. Just going on the hammerhead shark. I'm sorry, I wanted to put a little bit of that in there. But go ahead, show us the picture. They've changed. Did you say they've changed?
Well, they have, and I can't. I think it has to do with how the. Look at the head. I'll keep my hair out of it.
You're right.
How strange the head looks.
Mm-hmm.
Each time I look at the hammerhead shark, it looks different.
I see. I there. I might have a picture. Hold on there. I got one there.
Now, of course, this is an artist's rendition, so
I have. Let's see. I have this one. Oceans. Let me see if I can get the hammerhead shark in there. Let me see what we look like. Come on, Mr. Hammerhead. Suppose look at the index under H for hallucinations. Imagine. Someone mate. H for hammerhead shark. This is I don't know. I used to love doing this during shows. I have other Bibles there. I have two Bibles that have the Lord's Prayer in both different versions. One of the old reality and one of the new reality, which shows that it's just been an adjustment. Hammerhead shark. Why can't I find the hammerhead shark? Anyway, because I'm looking for it. Oh shit! I'm on the full screen. Sorry.
That's perfectly okay. You can hide me if you want.
No, not intentional. I'm not even looking at the screen. Here's one that people thought was a Mandela effect or the flora. I don't know. That one with the tusk on it.
Oh yeah, the narwhal.
Yeah, that one with the big tusk on it. I used to watch a lot of David Attenborough programs, so I was well aware.
Did you ever watch Jacques Cousteau?
Jacques Cousteau. No.
You look a little bit like Jacques Cousteau.
Oh no! Let's go into a French accent. Oh no! Oh, are you serious? I look like
That's
Dr.
the cap.
Joe.
It's the hat. It's the cap. You know, he always wore the cap.
You know what? So I think someone said to me once that I look like David Beckham, right? And he kept on saying it, and he kept on saying it during the show as well. So I done a show as David Beckham. It was so funny. I came on and done a whole show as well. I come in and I introduced David Beckham, and I actually have a David Beckham, I think a body wash over there. I'd done some fake adverts where I was advertising the David Beckham thing. That was so funny. So it was kind of like
model. Tell me you're not going to model underwear though, okay?
No, I didn't. I didn't do the model underwear. I was just doing it, with the glasses on, the sunglasses on, and all that, and the really cool David Beckham look and the pop-up collar and all that. I'm actually at the Dolphins now, and I don't see them one in it. And I can't get. Oh, here we're going. Eels doesn't have the Sharks. The Abyss now. The Abyss. I've so many different books. It'd be great to see that picked up the Hammerhead, but no.
I have a huge number of books, and I have 2 big bookcases my sons have to put together because I have them all stacked up in the books in my living room. My daughter says I have a library. I said, well, of course.
Yes, exactly. Of course. Right, let's just jump on these ones. Damn it, Jim. Big one. Next one is a big one as well. What have I told you? What I told you was never said. It stated in the Morpheus by Morpheus in the movie Matrix. So I like that. I can't ignore it. So that one's a big one for me because I was very excited about that movie, and that's how I got my name, System Failure, via the movie, the Matrix. And I studied it, and I studied Keanu Reeves. I study actors. I don't know why. One of the ones I studied the most, I'd say, that I know more about than any other actor is Keanu Reeves. I don't know why, just something about him. I always wanted. I'm fascinated.
Well, he's a Buddhist, and he's had such sorrows in his life, and
yes,
he doesn't let that color his view of the world.
Exactly. So him as an actor, I thought he was very interesting character to study. So that movie, even this line being out. What do you remember? Have you seen the movie yourself? Do you remember this?
What if I told you?
Yes. What have I told you?
He says that.
He does.
Because it's like he's talking. You can see Keanu in the glasses. There's a lot of symbolism in those movies.
There is.
And it's like the 2 vision pieces of him, the red pill or the green pill. I mean, it's like everything's about you have choices, duality, or blue pill and red pill, whatever it is.
Green pill, yeah. I have multicolored pills, by the way. I just have them all. Yeah.
Pink pill and the purple pill.
Yeah, there's all sorts. There's multicolored.
But I mean, it's that duality that in the tarot cards, the 2s are always about duality and choice. And so, I mean, the archetype, and so they just the movie is brilliant. The first movie is effing brilliant.
The last, have you seen the new movie? Have you seen the new Matrix?
Not yet.
Watch it. It's very.
I'm gonna see it though.
It's very good. I watched it a couple of weeks ago. See, here's the thing. This is the way I looked at this one for What Have I Told You. 10 years ago when the movie came out, it was whenever it came out, 20 years ago, What Have I Told You is the case of, oh yeah, what have I told you this happened? And now when it changed, it's not what have I told you, it is happening, by the way. It is happening. So he doesn't need to say what have I told you, because here, this is it. Keanu Reeves done a famous interview saying that the Matrix is actually happening just adjacent to us somewhere else, which means, he believed in it means either happening on a spiritual level or
very deep
physical level.
Very deep.
Oh yeah, yeah. The study he had to do for that movie, he done 6-year study on just reading alone in all sorts of different Gnostic knowledge and not Gnostic books, different terminizations of the whole Trinity, the Bible, all aspects of everything. And oh man, I don't know. I'm not even going to get deep into it. I go on and on and on. But yeah, it's a very, very deep movie. Keanu Reeves, yeah, fair play to you, man. Nicest man on the planet. Next, you're not going crazy. You're just waking up. Aha. Yes.
Well, waking up is not a pleasant process sometimes.
And it can be.
Because you have to let go of all your preconceptions.
Yes. All
the things you felt made your world safe.
Yes. And yes. Now, into some residue. Volkswagen. This is from a video I was sent a couple of years ago, or I think Namas Nan. I think that's his name. He's in one of my groups. Namas, he's a nice guy. I think he sent me this video ages ago. I like to give people recognition for the residue they gave me. See, there's no gap in that at all, but that could be The picture quality is not the best. Some people say it's the resolution in the video, you know, so you don't see the gap.
I think you'd see it.
Of course
I
you
think
would.
you'd see it.
Some of them
It's
have got massive
it's not
gaps.
tiny. It's not tiny.
No, it's not tiny. It's not tiny, like, you know, it's not tiny.
Yeah, you would see it.
Oh, God, question everything and upside down questions and inside out questions. I used to do that, Michelle. Woo! Make it all spectacular, but I was mad. Speaking about red pills, there's one. You want one? Oh. Next, residue. The Mandela effect. There's a. You think them guys are just sitting there going, you know what? Them guys are trying to figure out the Mandela effect, and we're up here drinking beer. How long will it take them? Nice picture. Nice picture.
Oh, I did want to. Oh yeah, the mushroom and the rabbit and the mushroom and the
Fly Gary mushroom
the
in the
caterpillar.
Yes. Quick list. The Mandela effect is what happens when someone has a clear memory of something that never happened in its reality. There are a few examples, and there's a few examples there of interview with a vampire, interview with the vampire, Bernstein, Mirror, Mirror, Magic Mirror, Sex in the City, Sex and Luke, I Am Your Father, Field of Dreams, If You Build It, They Will Come, and He Will Come. What's your memory on that
I
one?
remember that one. I remember that.
Yes.
Field of Dreams.
Yes,
Kevin
brilliant
Costner.
movie. Brilliant movie. Brilliant movie. What is your memory? So it is They Will Come rather than He Will Come.
If you build it, they will come. Yeah.
Always has been, you know. There's some people that do parodies about that, and they say They Will Come as well. There's so much residue evidence around that one.
It wouldn't make sense to say he because there's a whole shitload of people that came.
Yeah, there's loads of them. Yeah, why is it he? It's not as if he wants to meet anyone. Oh, here's one that I found residue on the other day. There's a few. Eddie Murphy does residue on this one too. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. That's Mr. Rogers, isn't it his name? Mr. Rogers. So the opening line in the song.
It was always "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." I listened to that thing so many times. I have 5 kids.
Yeah, so you know that'd be imprinted in your memory. You know, growing up listening to that, or even having kids listening to that, it would be. In the movie, they sing that line to him in the subway back to him. Kids sing it that way. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. They don't sing it the way he sings it, but when he sings it coming on, that's a Tom Hanks version, by the way, the new movie that he's not the new movie. He plays Mr. Rogers. He sings it, first line, this neighborhood. They sing it, their neighborhood. It's on my channel if you want to check it out. It's Residue.
That's really odd, isn't it?
So why did they're obviously singing it from memory because they've never met him before, and they're, you know, just trying to impress Mr. Rogers on a train, and it's a school outing or whatever. So if you watch the movie, look out for that bit. When he goes on the train, they sing it as we remember it. But Tom Hanks himself sings it the way it is here. And actually, the name of the movie did come out as It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. That's the name of the movie, isn't it? Not This Neighborhood. So there's another one. There's Mandela Effect. Beam me up, Scotty. This planet sucks. A lot of us are probably thinking that right now.
Yeah, supposedly he didn't say that. I'm going, yeah, okay.
Yeah, man. Well, he must be getting beamed up. Here's some little bit of residue. I think that's the picture that I used.
That's the one without the curly Q. That's what I remember.
That's the one. That's the key ring I picked up like that, right? And then to my astonishment, it changed to the pig's tail. I'm like, wow. It kind of didn't hit me for 6. I went to look for it. I picked it up for a show, during a show, because I like it. I love going around. I actually have a button here that said "Life is like a box of chocolates." I'll show you now in a second. I have a badge there. I don't know how these things come to me, but
if you don't actually have some chocolates for me, I don't want to hear it.
Let me show you this. Here's how we can manifest residue. Would you believe I used to do some volunteering in a charity shop, right? And I was thinking about life is like a box. I was thinking about that. And we have black bags of donations, and sometimes stuff comes out of pockets and it's in the bottom of the black bag. I felt the stuff in the black bag, and here's what I picked out. I picked out 2 badges. Can you read that? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I found this badge and a badge, a smaller badge, because this is actually quite big for a pin. I found 2 of them at the bottom of the bag, and I was just about to throw the bag in the bin, I just felt something in the bottom. Isn't that so weird that that's how they came to me? Same with the Ford residue, by the way. The Ford peeling.
You live a magical life.
Magical life in the charity shop, just sitting there, me and an Irish woman just taking the piss out of each other. It was great fun. It was brilliant.
2 Irishmen went into a thrift shop.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy days.
I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere.
There is definitely. We always had a joke. Margaret, she was great. Brilliant. God bless her. Had a great crack with her. Miss working with her. But there we go. That's the Ford one anyway. That's what we remember. I think I have some more. Here's the Union Jack. Symmetrical. That's from a movie. That's from a song. Here's the same one. There we go. I don't know.
I know some of the versions.
Moves like Jagger.
Some of the versions of the flag have white. The red doesn't continue. It's like blocked with white too, like a white framework.
Yes.
And it's hard to explain. Yeah, I know that there have been some changes, but some of them are like, oh, that never existed. You know, it's like that's when you start thinking that's kind of odd, right?
There we go. Is that doctor?
Oh, there it is again. Yeah. That looks like an actual.
See, I got these off the internet when I just Googled Mandela effect residue, and this came up. So this could be doctor because it's on online. But yeah, that's what I remember. I used to play with Ford cars when I was younger. Oh, here we go. Love this. Isaiah 11:6. Jared said that if you Google Isaiah 11:6, pictures of the lion and the lamb will still come up. You know, which is I suppose nice in a way, isn't it? What's next? The lion and the lamb. I think I've only a few more.
Another thing about the lion and the lamb, you have a wild animal with a domesticated animal. There's a lot of polarity in that whole symbolism.
Yes.
Not sure what it means exactly, but it's like the dichotomy of images, the opposites.
Yeah,
okay.
I know the opposites got to get on in the same world together. Peace on earth. And
yeah.
Oh, you all right there?
Just my phone.
Oh, it's okay. You should throw it out the window anyway. The phones are. Here's a picture I picked up. I actually, you know what I googled? I googled red bus, big red. I googled London bus, and this came up because I was looking for a picture for a song.
Now the red on that looks smaller. You know, is it?
It's
are there versions where it's a larger red line and smaller?
Sometimes, of course, yes. But that line would be around as thin as it is on the original flag now. But imagine that line, closer to the bottom of the white rather than some of the flags you would see the red line that's symmetrical there on both sides coming down is a lot thicker. It nearly takes up the same amount as it would in the straight line down, if you know what I mean. But I just found this residue just by chance by looking for big red bus. That was it. Just came across this symmetrical flag. So there's residue. Find it. Google. If you're not looking for it, you wouldn't know. A normal person wouldn't know that is not the original.
No, most people just
a British person. I hate to say it.
They accept everything as it is. They don't question things.
They don't question it at all. No, they don't question it at all. Here's a new one that I picked up. Is this familiar to you? Little Debbie's brownies. They now have a line in them. They used them to before. No. Line. I don't familiar with this. I don't bake with this. You know the product?
They have them here. I don't remember the line at all.
Okay. Maybe check it out.
Is it a new thing or has it always been this way?
I think it looks like it's a new man. This is the first time I've seen this picture. When I Googled Mandela effect residue or just Mandela effect, I get the normal generic pictures of Curious George and this, that, and other, or the Monopoly Man or whatever. But this is the first time this was up in my first 10 pictures, so it could be new.
Little Debbie just popped into my reality. It never existed before for me until 15 years ago.
What about Burger Queen?
Little Debbie.
What about Burger Queen? Have you ever heard of Burger Queen before?
What?
Burger Queen. You have Burger King. Have you ever heard?
We have Burger King.
Have you ever had Burger Queen before?
No.
That's a branch of burger things that are owned by Dairy Queen. apparently, and have been since the 60s, and have their own branch of Burger Queen. It's a weird fucking that came up in about 2 years ago. I came across it. I popped into a couple of shows, but no one had heard of it before.
I'm a big fan of Dairy Queen. I never heard of it.
So never heard of Burger Queen. It's weird. I think it had something to do with Dairy Queen. It had something to do with it was under their umbrella of
I didn't know they had any association with each other.
So this, guys, if you want to go and have a look at this one, this is weird. I don't know how to put it myself, but the line down the middle. If you have one in your cupboard, go have a look, or in your breakfast, go have a look. Does it have the line down the middle, or does it not?
It wouldn't last that long in my house.
quick!
I have
quick
two sons. Not only me, but I have two grown sons, and it was like what brownies?
What brownies? What are you on about? Residue doesn't last long in this house. Especially the food version of it. So Karate Kid, it's the headband. I do have a picture of this, a different color, but that's...
Didn't it have the traditional Japanese sun pre-World War II?
It was a
just the sun with the rays.
There's different versions of it. I think that's what he has now, but it's a different color in the movie. It's black or it's blue rather than red. I think this is actually a picture that someone sent to me as Residue, because that's... But I remember as a setting sun type of thing as well, like as you said, the sun was more, and it was a red one.
It's
now
it's a simpler design.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the rising sun in a way, isn't that what it is? And it was red, but now the movie it's actually dark blue when you zoom in on it, or black.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, and it's that sort. I know it's weird. Isn't it? Does that? If you don't know about that one, that's the Karate Kid.
I'm gonna call Mr. Mandela and have a little talk with him.
You do that, and tell him that's not on. You've ruined my childhood memory of Karate Kid. This is Mama told me life is like a box of chocolates. I just put in that's a song I done, but I put that Mandela Effect song. I edited that.
I'm gonna have some cocoa or something after this.
Do you want to do it?
Got me, my mouth's all ready for chocolate.
Sorry about that.
I'll tell my son, make some brownies.
Yeah, I'm going to have some bacon sandwiches after this. Bacon sandwiches. I have a hankering for bacon sandwiches. Life is like a box of chocolates taken away by the Mandela Effect. Yes, it is. And here's some of his suspenders. Mickey Mouse with suspenders on. He doesn't anymore. What's your memory on that?
I know the tail keeps on appearing and disappearing.
Yeah. I've a funny one about that. Curious George, he keeps on messing with Curious George. He takes his tail and he gives it back to him, and then we don't see it. And then
Well, he's a New World monkeys. All the New World monkeys have prehensile tails, and they hang by it. And he used to hang by his tail.
That's a famous picture of him hanging by his tail. Now he's not hanging by his tail, but he's still in the same position. So what is he hanging by?
The man in the Panama hat has some things to explain. Exactly what did you do with that tail, dude?
What did you do? There's a symmetrical flag as well in a famous video by this guy. That's Moves Like Jagger. I done a remix of that song and done some just look for some pictures, and that came across a symmetrical flag. Adam Levine, that's his name. Here's a weird map.
He needs to get a little more sun. Just saying.
Just saying. This is a weird map. It's not really that detailed because I don't know, hadn't got a high residue on it, but it's almost, I don't know, what would you call that map? What era?
Well, it looks like it's a depiction of a volcano, and that it has some kind of being that's causing the flow. And then there's Pele. That's the pregnant woman that has the or whatever it is that has the volcano in her. I think that's a female. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
it's very symbolic. This is a Hawaiian lithograph, I'd say, of some kind.
Okay. I can't remember where I got it from, man. Then looking around the edges, it's got the dragon in the top right hand corner.
It would be interesting to look at a more detailed and better resolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we have the dragon, so it could be like Filipino or Japanese even, because you have the Asian dragon that has no legs. This one particular one has no legs.
It's an interesting
and the only ones that have no legs are the Asian dragons. Sometimes they just have the front legs,
Yeah, I have
Sometimes
on
they
the
have
dragon.
all four, but generally, if it's no legs, it's a Asian kind of dragon. But I see all the symbols on the
On the
outside of
outer
that,
skirts, yeah. There's a lot of them
and
there.
that's really odd.
I know. I know. Think
That's
this
really
someone just
odd.
made this up. I really can't remember where I got it from. It does have a heading on it.
It doesn't look
No,
like a modern artistic rendition. Actually, it
no.
looks. I would say the earliest 50s or 60s, in my humble opinion. But I'm not an expert. But from the
Anyway, it's just
style,
a map I came across, and I'll save that. Here's another picture of that one I showed earlier on, so no need to go across this one. Another picture of Mickey Mouse with his suspenders on.
and a tail.
And a tail. There you go, guys. There you go. A double residue on that one. So, the tail.
His tail comes and goes. It makes
You
you
know what?
wonder.
I have never noticed that tail on that. Isn't that weird that you say that? I only looked at that as for his actual. Because for the tail for me, I just forget about that. Keep flipping and flopping. It's either here one day and there the other day. I know him and Curious George are arguing over a different reality somewhere, so it'll pop into this one every now and again and pop out. So if he has it,
Yeah, you'll see both. You'll see
yeah,
both.
yeah, exactly. You're like, you
When
know
you're
what?
doing a branding of a character, you don't usually change the essentials.
True.
Not
Exactly.
usually
A
done.
monkey with a tail. A monkey with a tail. There's fly you fools or run you fools. Fly you fools or run you fools. From the famous movie, Jesus Christ, Lord of the Rings.
Doesn't he say fly?
It's Fly You Fools. There's a dual memory on that one for me because I came across. I was watching the Graham Norton show. I have it on my channel. I was watching the Graham Norton show, and he happened to be on it. But also the guy who made Yesterday. You know the movie Yesterday, which is all about Mandela effects. The way, if you haven't seen that movie Yesterday, it's about the Beatles not existing in the reality of it. So it has all the aspects of it actually has residue in the background and pictures as well. But he happened to be on the show. This guy, Sir Ian McKellen, same time as the producer and the actor who was in it. And the actor turned around and said on TV, he says, "It's the only thing that's weird." He said, "Do you mind if I ask you a question? My friend asked me, and we have this debate every now and again, which obviously means we are aware of the Mandela effect. Is it fly you fools or run you fools in the movie?" So there you go. He was asked, or Ian McKinnon was asked in the middle of the show, and he says, it's actually, I can't remember which one it is because I know which one reality is, but he said it's fly you fools, fly you fools. And then Graham Norton done a sort of a sly kind of like, see, you won, as if to say, no, you're not going to talk about that, by the way. We probably talked about that. But it's weird to see the actor himself know the question, not say that's a Mandela effect, not nodding, but still it was a nod on live TV that was meant to produce it, was shown as a live TV thing. That it was a Mandela effect movie producer and actor asking a Mandela affected person what his lines were in the movie, straight to his face in a way, Not saying the Mandela effect. He could have said, "Oh, by the way, that's a Mandela effect," but he didn't say that. Isn't that weird?
Well, a lot of people have immediately dismiss it if you say Mandela effect. Oh, that's those crazy people.
Silly name. I think they dismiss it because of the name. That's what I think they dismiss it because I think the name Mandela effect, you're either in or out. You either remember it as he did or he didn't, or you remember, nah, fuck off, and that's it. I think it's a bad name for it.
I remember reading
timelines, maybe.
Reading a definition of what we call the Mandela effect. It was called something else. It was before it was branded as Mandela effect.
The branding of the
It had a big complicated name for it, a very scientific name.
Okay.
And it was the same, they described the same scenario basically of what we were experiencing. And I don't for the life of me remember what the word was. But I mean, this is not, I don't think it started with Mandela. I think it's been going on a long time.
Oh, no, of course it's been going on. Sinbad talks about his memory of the first time anyone asked him about the Genie movie, the Shazam movie, was 2009. He mentions it, that's the first time it came around for him that anyone asked him about it. So
I think
maybe we're late to the game.
When we have these traumatic events in our lives,
mm-hmm.
that's when we shift.
That's what I was saying earlier on. People who have these traumatic events enter the enter the Mandela effect, almost like as if they're pushed into it.
I think when my stepfather died, my brother was in the hospital with cancer. My stepfather died of cancer. My mother was trying to juggle going to 2 different cities to take care of her son and her husband. And, you know, life for me was like, you can imagine, I was 14.
Wow.
And I think something major shifted in my life at that time. Things were, I mean, you could just say, oh, life events can change. So there was like a feeling, I don't know, a felt sense. It's hard to explain how you just feel in your bones, in your gut, that there's something different or wrong or something's changed.
Yeah.
And really cannot understand that. Now, this is the New World Order thing.
This is a picture of an album. I was just looking for a picture for an album, but it's just funny. I thought it was actually residue of the planet itself, you know, the North Pole and the South America. But it's an interesting picture because that's a lot of Masonic symbols and other bits and pieces that you see in this. This is just an album cover. I don't know. I think it's a rap band. Jared said, I think NASA's space history has been erased. That's an interesting topic. NASA's space history about, you know, them knowing. Mandela effect is the trigger word, he said as well. So I am actually looking at the comments on my phone. I love maps. I don't know why. Here's one. There's one. I want to give you a little bit of history about this. This used to be my profile picture. It's the reverse of what he is now. If you can see, it's C-3PO. He's actually gold on the wrong leg. It's actually it's someone's artist rendition. But if you notice here in the hip, right, in the hip, he's gold. Right, he's got gold there in the hip. In reality, he's changed there as well. And in another reality, actually in this reality, I noticed, which I think I don't like to say that I was the first person to find this, but here on his arm joints, between his arm joints here, right here, that's silver in the original movie now. Right, that whole section there, that hold his arm on, is silver. That's in the original movie. But I used to use this as a profile picture to say, you know what, this has seen the future because this bit here on the original one's gone gold, gone silver too. Up here, one of his pistons, the top end of it's gone silver too. His ears have got, I think at the top there's a silver lining on the top of this bit here as well. See, in this picture, it's almost as if it's reversed what it is actually in reality. So I always like this picture. You know, it gives me some sort of sense of, I can see where all these Mandela effects. I've studied C-3PO for years, and I've studied the costume. I've done this, and I almost have this connection with it. I can see where the next Mandela effect comes along. I can see it. Can you not see it yet? I'll just show you a picture. Can you see it yet? Can you see it yet? Oh, there it is. And then then you see it. You don't want to do that, by the way. I am your friend. That's stupid. Here we go. Line of the Lamb. Sorry, I talk a lot there.
Another thing with the Lion and Lamb, it's like the masculine and the feminine as well.
Yes.
In the archetypes.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's a lovely picture. It's a lovely picture to be. And there we go, back to that one. I've done a few photographs of that, but a few videos of that. I've taken the song, the line from that movie. Is it Jesus in Nazareth? Where he talks about the line of the lamb. There's a residue of that. And then also another, I think I have, what's his name? Martin Luther King. He says the line of the lamb in one of his scriptures. He talks. I have that in the movie as well, in the song as well. And if you look on the line of the lamb on my channel, guys, you'll see loads of residue. I think Martin Luther King, another few guys as well, mentioning it on stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, whilst reading scripture. And there's that one again. It's a new one to me.
Quit showing me brownies. Just stop.
Sorry. The Bernstein Bars, Ripping Space Time Continuum. Is that a real book?
No.
Did they really get that far into, kids' consciousness? I don't know. This one to me, did you mention to me, it looks like he's almost paying attention the other day.
It looks like he's going from contemplation to absolute despair.
Yeah,
sequence.
It is. I think one of these days he's going to stand up. He's going to go, do you know what? I've had enough of this cute man. Are we going to?
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I'll just walk out the fucking museum. He does. He looks like he's like, you know what? I'm thinking about this. You know, I know it's going to be more interesting. You know, I
It's
can't
like,
think of it.
oh, too much.
Here's a Uncle Sam hat, and also
Yeah, that was a little startling when Uncle Sam lost his stripes. I'm going, what?
Stripes. Where did they go to? Where did they go to? Did some animal get stripes that we don't know? Also around the edge, you can see the American flag residue, but this just is some artist rendition that probably just thrown together. So it's not a real American flag, but it's still good to have the red line underneath the blue stars. And I think it's every.
Well, one of them shows it. Some of them do, and some of them don't.
Some of them do, yeah. So you can see up there.
That's
the
weird.
First one does. It's like, I think that's printer. Is it not just? Sorry, is it just not lined up properly? And the next one is this, by the way, this one here. We're talking about the Uncle Sam's hat. That's a big one for.
And the fact that the skull has the eye sockets are solid instead of
I've asked doctors about that, and I think I said to one or two doctors. I asked them because I'm always prepared for a fucking Mandela effect. Everyone I used to meet was a Mandela effect.
Oh, everybody thinks you're nuts now.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you get to know me, you'll know I'm nuts. But I said to a doctor on one of my many visits to a psychiatric ward, I said, when you studied, do you remember being able to see the back of the skull when you look into a skull, like as if you were doing, the holding a skull in your hand doing like fucking Shakespeare? Could you remember seeing the back of the skull through the eyes? I said, yes. So you studied. She says, yes. Isn't it weird now that there's a bone behind there or a cartilage? You can't see back all. You can't see nothing. There's nothing. There's stuff in the way. Then I start going into the dents and the little pimples that are all around the skull as well. There's different, look like pin marks, almost symmetrical around the head now that are also come into the head as well as other bits. And they were shocked about it. They said, Jesus, I said, go look at your book again. Go look at your book. It's weird.
Well, you want your doctor to be you want them not to be affected because they want you to you want them to deal with your body the way it is right now.
The heart on the left, I said to them as well, and they were like, I think one of them, I can't. No, this is I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I'm sure one of them says, yeah, the heart's on the left. A doctor saying that the heart's on the left and it's in the middle now. That's weird as well.
Well, I know it's changed.
I want another doctor. I want another doctor, please.
I know it's changed because I'm busty. Okay, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
And they would have to, in order to listen to my heart, they'd have to kind of lift it and then look under my left boob.
Just
okay.
Okay.
Now they look right in the center.
Yes.
They don't have to touch my boobage at all.
Exactly.
And it's like I'm just like going.
So your boobage is getting no action at all when you're getting okay. I'm good.
Maybe I just look better than they just wanted to feel.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just told maybe we try to make it less perverty. We won't touch a boob. Maybe it was too awkward for a doctor, so they just changed it to the middle, but it's actually still on the left. Just a doctor.
But yeah, I've noticed in the difference in how they take my pulse and how they listen to my heart.
Yeah,
it's different because my body's different now.
Yes, of course. There's loads of different body changes. Like even the lungs have changed, dropped or moved or got bigger, and then the kidneys have moved. So much stuff. Some people
the kidneys are now protected, and the kidney punch isn't going to work very well because underneath the rib cage.
Not anymore. No, that's not the way it used to.
My dad was a boxer. I know these things.
I used to do a little bit of boxing myself back in the day.
Well, he's got more Irish than I do, so he was a boxer. He was this.
There you go.
Yeah, he had really long arms and was really skinny guy.
Okay.
When he was young, and so he could beat anybody because they could never get close enough to him because his arms were long. But the kidney punch, that was
always handy. It's always handy.
That was a thing. It was against the rules, but it was a thing. Oh, there's another one with no gap.
There you go. That's one that's going around on the internet. Been around, just Google Volkswagen one. It's a great picture. Great picture. What I remember. I always, when I see a Volkswagen van, I'll go over to it and I'll go up to the etchings of the window. I'll even go and look in the headlights, because they usually have a little etching of Volkswagen on the actual glassware as well as some of the panels as well. And I literally go around with a fine-tooth comb looking for the non-gap on it. And sometimes, it's funny because a lot of people that own these vans will see you walking around their van and come out and they'll only want to talk to you about where they've been in their van. And I will straight away ask them or tell them what I'm doing. I'm just looking for the gap. or the no
Well, yeah,
gap,
you don't want to think
whatever.
you're some kind of van
Yeah,
pervert, right?
but when I mention it to them, that I'm just actually looking for the gap. I'm not like trying to break into you and see what kind of stereo you're into. Usually they go into talking about their journey or where they've been on it, and then I'll ask them, did they remember the gap itself or not the gap, and most of them say no, there's no gap. I've only noticed that now that there is a gap. Isn't that weird? A Volkswagen owner that's owned the Volkswagen van all his life has only noticed that there's a gap in it now since you said it to him.
Well, I think some people are just incredibly unobservant.
Yes, maybe. Could be. There's another one. That could be. I've taken many a photograph of my TV. Many a photograph. And even a photograph from outside just to test it. That could be a light thing. That could be, the shine off it that you can't see the gap in it. But I think I downloaded this. So this is from a movie. I haven't watched the movie myself. I watched a comedy this morning called Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, starring Martin Lawrence and many other famous comedians. Toward the very end, I found on the vehicle that seemed to be the original Volkswagen logo that I remember. Yeah, I think as I said, I've taken many photographs of many ones, and it could be the definition of the camera that it was, but also there's obviously ones that are there clearly that are not, like that one there. It's not a shine. That's not a shine that's making you see that there's no gap there.
Yeah, there's no question there.
Yeah, that's a flat surface. Them ones can, but I'm not saying it's not. It's great. It's great that even just think that it is, that it actually exists and it is in movies. And it's great to think that people are watching these things so much that they're going to do a report like this on them, because I get lazy. Sometimes I feel like I have to get every bit of residue. I can't watch a fucking series without sorry, I shouldn't swear, without taking my phone out.
Mark, balance in all things.
Balance in all things. Namaste. There we go. There it is. VW. When you turn it this way, it's more sinister. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that more sinister?
Yeah. Stands for Mark and Marissa, right?
Well, it does. And it also stands for, that's an alien with his 2 arms and his 2 legs. You're just missing his head.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at it like this, right?
Yeah.
And just imagine there's another one where there's another triangle coming down here in that smaller triangle. Have you seen that, Volkswagen? There's another small bit here added onto this. But when you look at that upside down, that looks like a man standing. 2 long arms, Also,
and the other one says that it looks like he has a belt on.
It also looks like 2 doors and it also looks like the Twin Towers. It also looks like a lot of other stuff. But when you put the gap in it, if you think that's a person, that splits us. That divides us into 2 as a person. If you know what I mean. If that was the symbol of one person.
Yeah, I think we're seeing in the timelines. I have a thing here on the pirates. I have a couple of books, and now there's all these female pirates, just scads of female pirates, and no mention of them for ever before. And female it's like pirates. Now, we've always had these female pirates, all these female pirates, and then we have all these female pilots, and during the war we have, and it's like.
And what space exploration. The first one was didn't she pop up? She was in the 40s. The first woman who went to space. She popped up in history. She was never there before. Can't remember what her name was.
Was that the Russian gal?
Was it? Yeah, was it the Russian one? I think it was her. She popped up. Before that, it was nearly the 80s before they put a woman in space, or something like that. Maybe that could have been my. I took this from my TV. I think I took this off my TV. I think that's my picture. There you go.
It's very strange, and the more we pay attention, the more things we find.
Yes.
And we're starting a new year, and one of my daughter's boyfriend asked me that a lot of his friends feel like that they're like stuck, that the things are just not moving, and it's like, well, we're in a cycle change, they call it. I mean, this is 10 years after 2012. So we have another cycle going. That 2012 was a big one. You know, we moved from Orion, you know, moved from Sagittarius to Orion. You know, that was a big move. So I think we're going to see after this pause, we're in Mercury retrograde, which is kind of one of those pauses as well, where things from the past come to revisit us and we have choices we can make. So I think that we're going to see this coming year. This is my prediction. Madam Skook knows all, that we're going to see some significant new Mandela effects this coming year that will be ones we have not seen before.
I used to do some predictions. I did predict, and I still do. The movies has been um, held back a little bit. So we have the new movie Top Gun 2 coming out. Right, Mandela effects are going to pop up about Top Gun 1. My theory on this is because people will go back and watch Top Gun 1 over and over again to get ready for Top Gun 2.
What's the movie? What's the movie called, you Irish brogue men? What did you say?
Top Gun. Tom Cruise. You know Tom Cruise in Top Gun?
I hate Tom Cruise, but I'll watch it just for you.
The second movie's coming out soon, and there's been a few around Tom Cruise as well. But I predicted that in the second movie there's going to be Mandela effects that have happened in the first movie that we haven't noticed now because we didn't watch it with Mandela.
Yeah.
He's also in, you know, he's got the glasses and the shirt in a different one in that Risky Business now or whatever it's called.
That where he does that dancing and he no longer has
the glasses on or the glasses off, you know, and
his shirt was white, now it's pink or something.
Yes. So he's Mandela affected in a way. So I said that was going to happen, but that movie got held back because of
he's still a dick, but still he's Mandela.
Yeah, he's still a dick. So there's other movies as well that I predicted that were going to come out, and I think my basis for that one was because people go back and watch the original movie just to re-up and get ready for the remake or the next level of it, and we don't notice unless we're looking for it, you know. Now it's see what happens, but having the knowledge of being able to read cards and having your knowledge that you do, sweetheart, and being able to see these or think these things are happening or can see in the future that these things might be happening in a way. Do you think that when you think these things or see these things and you see the breadcrumbs in front of you, does it frighten you anyway at all? That went deep there. I'm really sorry.
I think what we need to watch is the symbolic meaning of the changes that will be coming, what they might mean in the sense of where we're headed energetically and spiritually and in our timeline, and whether or not you're ready to move to that change. Some of us might not be ready to, there may be some big changes coming and some will embrace it and some will not. And that's just a personal thing. I mean, we all have our insecurities, and so it depends on how courageous you are, whether or not you're going to jump in that rabbit hole quicker or not.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like there's going to be some major ones coming that you're just going to go, what? Yeah.
I like to think that when we see a Mandela effect happening, that we're not losing a reality. Some people think that we've moved from one reality to another. I think it's just another reality on top of this reality, so we can see 5 realities at once rather than just being able to see one at a time. Depending on perspective wise. So I don't fear the Mandela effect or change.
No, I don't fear it because I am balanced within myself, and it's like
that's probably
I am me. My reality of who I am doesn't change.
Hi, Prel, I can never say
Prelim. I just call him Prelim.
Hi, Prel. How are you, brother? Welcome along. Volkswagen logo. They're very.
I say hello to everybody. I've been reading everything, so it's not.
I can see them here on my phone. I can see them here on my phone. Also, you did say something about the Volkswagen there a second ago as well. Early 2016, when I first saw the Volkswagen divide in the middle. I have a picture here behind me, and it has a car with parts from the 1958, 1959, 1964, 1962. And it leads me to believe that for some reason in 1963, that's when the Volkswagen happened. The change in a reality kind of way. I don't know why I thought that. That was maybe a Gnostic knowledge that I know fuck all about.
Yeah, I think we
there's
need
the
to
one.
think
There
about
you
what the political meanings to some of these Mandela effects. Is there some kind of? I mean, I try not to go full weirdness, but it makes you wonder. There is the positive and the negative. There's the darkness and the light.
I try not to go full weirdness either, but it never works. It's more.
And I mean, you just have the feeling is that's like kind of weird. That's a dark thing that it seems to be manifesting itself, and that's not a good thing.
Don't think about it too much. Do you see this VW one? Do you see the top bit there? Do you see
what the frick?
Have you ever seen that one before? I think this could be a doctor version, but I have seen 2 or 3 photographs of this. So we have this one we have this one. Oh, I've zoomed in. With the, then we have this here, this little bit extra. Isn't that weird?
I think understanding what the meaning could be.
Now, when you turn that upside down, that looks pyramids. Now we see,
or teepee.
Teepee. All sitting around smoking the peace pipe. What do you think, guys? What do you think of that one? Are you familiar with that one? I can't see the chat. And they will, when the logo spins, it looks like a Nazi symbol. Well, there was a few parts where they were saying that it is kind of a Nazi symbol upside down. And if you look into photographs that show you the symbolism between that and a few other Nazi symbols, this is in it. The Volkswagen. There's a few other ones that are shaped on the Nazi.
Well, the direction of the Nazi symbols changed from original, and how crooked they are. How much they look like they're walking.
Yeah,
instead of
I used to think that was they're spinning it like it's almost as if we walk into a reality now where the Nazis won the war and they're just twisting that around and they're sitting up in the moon now waiting for us, which is weird. But it has the swastika itself has changed. It's just twisted around a small, but it's not vertical anymore.
Well, they're a symbol that's found all over the world, and they're considered a spiritual symbol. And Nazi Germany just twisted the shit out of it.
Inside out, just turned it inside out.
Made it a dark thing instead of a spiritual thing.
Let me ask you a question. Who knows a guy called Adolf? Nobody knows a guy called Adolf. Nobody calls their kid Adolf anymore because of Adolf Hitler. It went straight out of
a really good name. He ruined it all.
He ruined the whole, and he ruined it. You know anyone going around looking like Charlie Chaplin with that mustache anymore? No, he ruined that look too. He ruined that look.
That was very common. Remember Abbott and Costello? One of them, they had that little toothbrush.
Yeah, so he ruined. Now, not to say what else he ruined.
And now he has blue eyes, so all of us blue-eyed people are cursed. Come on, that's just wrong.
I have blue eyes, man. I have blue eyes. I don't have any same traits as Hitler.
I'm the only one with blue eyes in my generation. You have to go clear back to my great-grandparents to find blue eyes. I'm it. I feel special.
I feel special. You are special. There's a Volkswagen keyring. Now, the sense of having that, not having a gap in it so it wouldn't fall off. It's just there's a my mind has gone 1,000 miles an hour. There is a Beastie Boys video, with them walking around with that, and it doesn't have a gap in it. But if you go search their video, if you go search the photographs of the Volkswagen one the Beastie Boys used to hang around with, it does have the gap in it, and some do and some don't. Isn't that weird? Beastie Boys. Check them out, guys. You're not going crazy, you're just waking up. No, I'm not. I'm done.
Well, becoming enlightened, I think this is all part of it. Understanding that our reality is our choice, and that essentially, no matter what happens around us, we maintain a spiritual truth within ourselves.
Seen that one?
Roar.
Arr, arr, arr.
Arr.
Arr, arr, arr.
Lions are awesome.
Lions are
Who doesn't love lions? Come on.
Exactly. Who doesn't love lions? You gotta love lions. Now we can see ourselves. You're gonna.
Yeah.
Just getting up there. So another about 20 minutes left. Is that okay with you, sweetheart? Is that all right? You good to go? You good to go? You've had your breakfast and everything now, haven't you?
Yeah, but I didn't get my brownies.
Oh no! Brownies.
If I ever come to the UK, you owe me some brownies.
You know what?
And I don't care if they have stuff in them or not. That's okay.
Well, while we're talking about brownies, I'm going to put that one up and see if anyone. No, I'll do it later. I'm not that interested.
Yeah, Perlin was talking about the hate laws, and Jared as well. Germany, they're a little punchy, and for good reason, because they're so ashamed of what happened during the war.
Stigmata. The rest of their life.
They're ashamed that they didn't have the courage to fight the regime.
Some of them are.
But it was like boiling a frog. You know, it didn't happen overnight. It was just a little bit here, a little bit there. Pretty soon it was a monster they couldn't control.
Do you know boiling a frog? The frog will actually jump out. You do know that's a no word.
Well, yeah. Well, imagine the UK frogs are smarter than the ones
here.
Maybe
that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. You know?
The American frogs are dumb.
Yeah. Well, they're all licking each other's backs. That's what they're doing because they're all getting tripping bollocks. Sorry, I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't swear. He did have brown eyes, but that is a Mandela effect.
Yeah, that is an effect. Yeah, Trump, thank you. The gift that keeps on giving. It's like my trauma from my domestic abuse issues with my husband. It's the gift that keeps on giving. My fibros, part of that. You know, a lot of things are part of the. We don't get through this life unscathed, do we?
We don't. We definitely don't.
But together we can be okay.
Yeah, of course, you know. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Now, if we could only live by that attitude, but we don't. We're all sponges to everything for some reason. We're all like a bag of nails walking around. Everything affects us in any way. If you say that the world doesn't affect you, well, you're wrong. It does affect you. It just comes out in different ways.
Well, you know, it affects you because you see, unless you're a total knob, you see the suffering and it bothers you.
Yes. Yes, there's times where you just want to switch everything off and lay under a cover and go, Jesus.
And you can let it bother you to the point where you can't function, and that doesn't.
Or you can research it to the extent where you know so much about it that you might be able to think that you can fix it in a way.
Well, like I said, she thanked me for helping her become an occupational therapist.
There you go.
I had no idea. We'd have no idea our little things that we do for good, how powerful they can be.
Exactly.
We don't know. So do good when you can, and you're helping. You are helping.
Exactly. And it won't go unnoticed. Never does. We think it does. It's because we all seek praise for everything we do. Go do deeds and don't stand around to see how they affect you. Just make sure it's good.
Yeah.
You know? I don't even know half the stuff when I'm saying it, so you know. But I know one thing. I was very humbled when I Am Magic said to me. I asked her, you know, what asked her what influenced her to do the show. She said me. So I got that to me. I nearly cried when she said that. So even just that one person makes me this whole 2 years of
to feel appreciated is sometimes such a rare thing. You know, we especially if you're not like other people, you don't feel, you just feel you don't want to tell people things because you don't want to be mocked and put down. And to be appreciated is so nice. It really is.
Yeah. Well,
and you are a sparkler there, Mark. You are.
I know sparkle in my eye there. There's sparkle in my eye. Do you know what?
Yes, sparkle
I've done 3 shows this week. I've done one with Magic Sister last week, and I think we're doing another one this on Sunday or Monday. I done one with Captain Kirk, and this is my 3rd one this week. But I feel the cogs are moving. You know, I can feel, because I used to be, as I said earlier, there's no box, man, I can't think outside of. And there'd be theories on top of theories and theories. And it's not because sometimes they pop into my head. Some theories I've looked into, some other theories I've heard other people talking into and whatever. But limitless, it's a limitless bucket of shit. Endless bucket of stuff that probably shouldn't be known. But it all leads up to one big puzzle. If I can give you this little piece down here, and then further on down the line, you get another piece and go, oh yeah, that fits with that. There, it mightn't make sense to you now. It will in 10 years' time. I don't know. See, I don't know what I'm saying. Someone mentioned money bag.
You're starting to babble now, Mark.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I was going to the chat.
Time to say goodnight, and we're starting.
No, we've got 15 minutes left. But yeah, sometimes you come onto the show and you have something to say, and you don't. Sometimes you just. I used to do that all the time. Just come on and just say what I wanted to say, and do my residue, and not trying to figure out did it impact anyone else. And then when I Am Magic did say to me there 2 weeks, 3 or before Christmas, it humbled me. It made it almost all. It was all worthwhile. This is my second year, and the 1st of January is my second year anniversary of being on YouTube. As in, hello, it's me. I'm mad. Brian McFarlane and Brian Davey made me. I'm crazy.
It's about 2 years for me, and
okay. Nice.
Oh yeah, here I'm gonna show you real quick, like an Egyptian one. Now, Egypt is one of the things that I watch and kind of keep my finger on.
Speaking of Moneybags, Moneybags commented on one of my videos there. I think it was the Sinbad one. The April Fool's version of it. Because I was trying to say to him, but anyway. Oh, you're sending me there. Okay, cool. Photographs. Aha. Oh, yes.
You remember when the pyramids were surrounded by sand?
I do remember.
You had to go by camel on some kind of a trek, Anyway.
There you go. That's very green, isn't it?
Yeah, I know that they used to have access to the Nile, so they couldn't have been. But the Nile's moved a great deal in the interim years, But it's like, like there's a golf course right next to it or something. I don't know. And then there's the necropolis, which just popped out of nowhere.
Do you think that's gentrification, or just like moving populations beside it and just making it more green and green and green, and just loads of
no, because the Nile is right there. It's right near. The Nile should be miles away from the pyramids, according to the natural course of the drift through the eons.
Didn't they
because there was water that was channeled to. There was a channel to the Egyptian pyramids, and the water was used to carry things to it. And there's all kinds of theories about the water.
Yeah.
But there's no way that the water would be just right there after, 20,000 years or whatever it was,
Yeah, I guess. You wouldn't think it would be with the...
No, it has moved considerably. I remember that because like I said, I'm a King Tut Egyptian nut.
King Tut Egyptian nut.
I'm a King Tut nut. That's me.
There's a song in that. They moved though. The pyramids moved too, didn't they, in the Mandela effect?
Yeah, and remember the big one was the middle one, not the one on the far end.
Yeah, they're changing around, and they're
And now they found all these pyramids. There are like a zillion pyramids now in Egypt. Everywhere there's pyramids.
They're all over the world. They're underneath the
and it's like they're everywhere.
I reckon there's probably about 5 underneath Everest.
That and the arches. The arches and the star forts. Yeah. So, what the frick?
The archways, yes, the arches are mad. Like, isn't there one called the Rainbow Arch, which is in California somewhere, and it's way out in the desert, and it's just like a...
I want to do a thing on arches, and my life's been just taking care of me.
do you know what the Flock TV, the Black Sheep researcher? Do you know him? You must know him. Paul, I'll give you a link later on to his channel. He does a lot of stuff about archways and stuff. Like he does a lot of stuff on Janus, Janus and all the gateways and the archways. He's got lots of stuff like that on his channel. He's next level, man. He's professional in a way, man. He presents his videos on.
I have 5 children and a crazy husband. I'm lucky to get anything done.
Okay. Well, just to sit back and watch his videos is worth it. If anyone wants to put in the Black Sheep Researcher's channel, I'd much appreciate it, guys. If not, I'll send it to you later on.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
It's great. I love archways as well. I used to look into a few bits and pieces. I have a few books here with some great pictures as well, which reminds me I should do a book show. What are your predictions on Mandela effects going forward, if there is any?
I'll give me a second.
Okay. Once we look at this beautiful picture of pyramids, it's almost as if they just went green. Just, you know what? I don't want to be this color anymore. I just want to turn green. Yeah.
I have a feeling. I don't know why this came to mind. That some book is going to come out.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be real mind blowing.
What, someone's wrote to explain it, or as in a new book that's never existed?
It could be a new, just that won't be called Mandela effect necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But those of us who are affected are going to go, oh my God, we're going to know what it is.
Okay. I get you.
Yeah, Brian McFarland had a D. All the people that have McFarlane used to be McFarland.
I mentioned
I know a couple of people that now they're McFarlane and not McFarland.
Yeah, even the guy from Family Guy is the same. His name's
like,
changed, isn't it?
Or
whatever his name is.
How'd that work? Is that somebody over at Ellis Island went and changed it?
I asked Brian McFarlane about his name. I'm sure several people have as well on the show. And he's like, yeah, everyone.
But I have a feeling there's going to be some pretty profound stuff coming out in the way of books, and it's not going to be called Mandela effect, but it's probably going to be something to do with dimensions or doorways, and it might be something that people ignore.
Multiverse.
But some of us will know exactly what it is, and it will be something
waiting for the book.
We will be discussing it. I have a feeling.
Yeah. I have been waiting. I used to think it's still in my book of theories, that the next kind of push that they're going to be pushing is that the multiverse exists, and we need to be able to be one with them and open doorways that they can come and we can come, and almost as if this planet is almost like a petrol station on the way to somewhere else in a way. That kind of change, big change that we could see, rather than we can turn water into wine. Sorry,
it's going to be very controversial, and we're going to see a lot of discussion on it, especially in our groups. And there's going to be a lot of people who agree or disagree, and a lot of controversy. I think it should be interesting. Now, to me, controversy is just a springboard for discussion. It's not something we should be afraid of.
Yeah, I like that.
When you get too set in your ways about the Mandela effect, sure enough, something will happen to teach you that lesson, that you can't sit on your laurels. You can't say, "Oh, this is the way it really is," and something will happen.
Well, that's one of the moments. The realizations of the Mandela effect is that what we are sure of, everything isn't quite. That's not going to stay the way it is, and just don't freak out every time something changes.
Well, it's not boring, right?
It isn't boring. It isn't boring at all. It's fun to find out the new ones. It's fun to find out people's journeys and finding the new ones, and to think on a different level on every Mandela effect impacts different people in different ways. Straight up face value, you'll either go, oh wow, that's interesting, or you go, boom, oh shit, that frightened the shit out of me. But they're coming quick and fast, all the time. We're just not. I think the world distracts us from the smaller ones that happens, and like the last 2 years, we've lost focus. We just say the whole world's lost focus on what's real and what's not. In fairness, I'm not going to mention what's going on. Everyone fucking knows what's going on. But if we could get back to before this shit happened and have that kind of researching where, on the level of what it is and where it's coming from and what the changes mean and how many they are coming and what level of percentage of what country is affected compared to, say, the States, compared to the US, to the UK, compared to Europe and China. I don't even know if China, if there's a Chinese version of the Mandela effect. And I can't read Chinese.
If they did, the government would suppress it, don't you think?
But imagine if you could read Chinese. I wonder if the spelling in Chinese or any other language that's spelled differently, is there Mandela effect clearly written in them that they can see clearly. I just can't read that stuff. You know what I mean?
I
So,
know that my sons read a lot of the graphic novels, okay, the
okay.
Chinese ones particularly.
In
And
the
they talk a great deal about dimensions and their fantasies, but they're very these writers are very
they're
occupied
real, man. They're real.
by
They
the
have.
weird dimensional weird stuff that can happen in
Mm.
different worlds that are similar but different. And
Yeah, it's
I
just
I
like
think there must be some understanding
there's a
going
movie
on, but
called
they're hiding it
there's a
because
new
the
movie.
government.
There's a new movie called Another Us. Sorry, I shouldn't go over Another Us, which talks about a guy or a woman waking up in another reality, and the only difference in that other reality is their boyfriend's not there. So it's always been the main bane of going from one reality to another, and maybe you're right, maybe that's what it is. But that, in my mind, would be the multiverse in a way, or there's another reality. That could be the singularity moment. By the way, the quantum computers that we have been saying to you that have been getting information from parallel universes. Them parallel universes are in physical form too. We just have a one way. That could be it. That could be where it is. That could be what the quantum. But then again, that could be bullshit. They say they're getting information from parallel universes. Is that a reality too? Is that what could be it?
Well,
Is that what they're hiding? CERN
it's
seems to be a
hard
big
to
one.
know. It's hard to know, and
Are we
we
ever
just
gonna
have to
know?
hang in there and
Stay focused. Stay focused on your
don't
on
let things shake, rattle you.
no,
Have
exactly.
some kind of a firm basis of who you are and what you believe in, and try to keep that core groundedness so that you can weather a lot of this weird stuff that happens.
Bell says a mini black hole caused by CERN. A lot of people, mention CERN CERN to me are just playing with Stairway to Heaven. They're going to other dimensions and other dimensions on a physical form, going there physically, opening as we would imagine a gateway to another, and just walking in there like Stargate and going to somewhere and trading whatever they want to trade over there to bring back here or stay there. That's the given, I think. But whether they caused the Mandela effect, no, I don't think they caused it. I think they might have made it more noticeable because since they come out, everyone's gone looking at Sarah. Oh, they're the Mandela effect. You're the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect has probably been going on since Jesus was born.
I have a feeling it's been going on a long time because we have the pre-dynastic Egyptians, which was a matriarchal society of peace and abundance and much enlightenment, and they never talk about it. They've buried that and hidden it, and yet there's sufficient evidence that there was something like that going on. But anything like that's very anti what we have here, which is very patriarchal, very warlike, very dominating, very physical based. So anything that's relatively spiritual in nature or matriarchal in the sense that which is the balance of the two genders is going to be suppressed, and so we just have to see if we can ferret out some of this stuff as it comes.
There's the last time I looked at this, I'm sure this is common knowledge now that there's 33,000 hydrogen colliders in the world at the moment, and that's only on this planet. And CERN were not the first ones. That's the reason why I don't believe CERN are the main cause of the Mandela effect. There's been loads of hydrogen colliders before CERN.
Yeah, I don't think they're the cause of it, but they're not helping. They're not helping.
I think a lot of people, they might have access to other realities where these other things are being done, like i.e. Tom Hanks and the connection there. But that could be also be a screen, a smoke screen, them just pointing at it. But the reason why I think
you ever have a feeling they're laughing at us? I mean,
yes, of course. The knowledge that they know, being able to, if I was able to walk out that door and go to a different reality and have 24-hour fucking fun and have whatever I want and be treated like a king, and thinking or being programmed that if I told anyone about that, I would lose that privilege. And how that's, I don't know if that's something that seems like what they're under, or they're just going, fuck you, I can go there, but it's all a secret. There has to be someone telling them not to tell. Is it? If we all knew that, we'd probably go there. You know, of course we would, and we'd probably even making these hydrogen colliders in our fucking in our basements, and I'm sure lots of people do. But you know, I think they've got down to the finely tuned that people who want to go and who are into these black holes and heading off to other places have a button, just switch on, and they don't have to go to CERN and go down to that black hole and go into the hydrogen collider walk through. They can have it in their house. So why are they all going standing outside CERN saying it's great? It's great. It's been a technology finding out what the God particle is. When they found the God particle, even before they invented the internet in CERN, you know, in 1989, they found the God particle in 1960. For sake, that was even before CERN was invented. Well, it was invented, but it's a different thing. So they came out and said that they were going to look for the God particle, even though they knew what the God particle was, and they started smashing stuff together. And you know, just to see what would happen, because they were bored scientists, and now look what they've done. They've got the whole world thinking that they're opening loopholes in this and that and other, but it's just for the benefit of what, for themselves. I don't know. It seems weird. It seems weird. Like CERN, they're just nuts. You know, the whole opening ceremony, even that and the Goddard tunnel, they're showing it straight in their face.
That was creepy.
They're opening this to bring
creepy.
in a time of such and such a goat. You know, a guy dressed up as a goat, and all of that symbolism, you know, is fucking weird as fuck. It's Satanist. They're, you know, if you haven't seen that Goddard tunnel video where they're coming in and they're dancing and they're walking around with all the horns on and all, they're all. If you haven't seen that, when you hear about what their people are thinking about, that they're welcoming in and new, and they're all, the presidents are sitting there all fucking loving it. Look at it.
It was disturbing.
It is disturbing, very disturbing, you know.
And you know, I don't believe necessarily that Baphomet is the devil, but I know that Christian traditions, they have turned him into it. So to them, maybe that's who that is. I mean, I don't know. It has to do with
sorry, I missed that.
Physical reality.
Yes.
That they want to create. I guess.
You've seen their video. You've seen their video. I used to go. The White Rabbit. His name is. I had some videos. I think they might be on this one. I think one of them got me taken down from another video, another channel. But he talks about some. I'll have to show you the video and get them mixed up. But he talks about the levels of it, and basically they're showing you all the symbolism in your face. So then, you know, when it does happen, when it does come reality, all they can do is, oh yeah, we told you that. We're showing you. It's right there in front of you. You know, it's a clause, an out clause for them to say, yeah, we were telling you all the time. Could you not see the writing was on the wall? Don't blame us. We've been telling you. We've been bringing forward this reality, and now you're blaming us because it's gone to shit. Now give us money so we can fix it. You know what I mean? And then we'll give them all the money, and then they just flick the switch and just take all the
what are you talking about?
Have I lost you? Have I lost you?
No, I'm just thinking that's what they say when, what money?
No, I get you. So I need to grab something to eat soon enough, and I don't want to stay on too long because I know it's 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, well.
We're doing all right. Let me do a couple of these comments before we move on. It's CERN, definitely. You know, the 666 symbol, the www, you know, the whole thing of internet, the web, and the whole, it's almost as if it's built up to be a trap, you know. It's a trap, it's a trap, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. You remember that? It's a trap, it's a trap.
I don't care. I can handle it if you give me brownies.
Yeah, exactly. Brownies. Let's get the brownies out. So, are you going to go to the supermarket and get brownies?
What?
Are you going to go to the supermarket and get brownies now after this show?
No, because I have 2 messed up hands, and I have to have my sons come with me until they're better.
Okay. Oh, God bless. Well, I'm sorry for putting brownies in your mind, you know, and making you hungry for brownies.
I have the ingrets. It sucks when you go into the kitchen. All you have is ingredients.
Yeah. It's true.
I have cocoa. I have flour and eggs, sugar.
Yeah. I know you're making me think of bacon sandwiches. Having to put them. I'm actually going to grill my bacon rather than fry the bacon because it's better for you. No.
Well,
Oh,
it's been lovely. Thank you for everybody who's come by and said hello and gave us some good feedback and information. I've enjoyed this a lot, even though I'm half awake.
well,
Wait till I get some decent sleep. I'm such a brain.
I appreciate you coming on the show, and you know we've been planning on doing a show in 2022, so this is the first of many. So let's do another one another time as well. It's the first of many, you know.
Yeah, and I'll try to get my act together. Have a little more to offer you.
When things are better, when you're at Wister better and you have a bit more rest, we will get more in depth and more deep.
Well, I did do a sleep study and I did not sleep because I have to have the machine, and they said, well, for some reason you didn't get enough data for us to do anything. We'll have to do a study with you using the machine. I said, no shit.
Exactly.
I have severe sleep apnea. I have to have the machine. But you know, you can't tell these people anything. They have to figure it out.
You have to learn their own way. You think they would have learned their own, you know, several times, and but well.
They don't listen to old fat women.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. God bless you, sweetheart. I've got other links. I've got 2 of your links linked in here as well. So if anyone wants, everyone subscribe. It's also I've shared it on Facebook. Everyone's following me on Facebook. Just make sure you subscribe to both channels. You have another channel as well, but I didn't get that link.
I have Skook Strange World. I have my tarot channel. Then I have Skook Strange Stories. So.
Stories one and your normal one.
Tarot
I didn't
and my tarot, yeah.
The tarot one.
Anyway,
I missed the tarot one, but I will put it in after this. It will be linked in. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to finish the show and say thank you everyone to chat. God bless you all. We will see you next time. And yeah, namaste. And the show is over. Go in peace and all that. So bye bye.